Hey guys, welcome to Slip Encounter Podcast. We're at the Kenichi Bed Studios. I'm your host, BINK. Oh man, it's been a long week. Turn the music down just a little bit. Music a little loud in the headphones. Thank you. Man, it's been a long week, guys. Long week. A tragic week. I want to start the show off by giving my condolences to the Harrison and Hernandez family. My heart goes out to Dusty. He lost his dad last week. It's crazy. We were just with him at the media day a couple days before his life was taken. And you just never really expect things like that to happen. It never crossed your mind that this could happen. I'm still in shock that, this would happen to a man like that gave so much back to the community. It's kind of hard to digest, but my heart goes out to Dusty, man. He was supposed to fight this weekend, but the fight was canceled. I think we all just need time to sit back and reflect and see what's really going on. Because I mean, man, it's hard to digest, man. Just being with him a couple days before and then getting the news, I can't wrap my mind around it. I really can't. But just want to praying for Dusty and his family, the Harrisons and the Hernandezes, and hope they can pull through and come out strong on the end of this. Yeah, man, it's a lot going on in boxing. We had Shakur Stevenson last week against Robson Conceição. Wasn't really a competitive fight. I thought it was gonna be more competitive than what it was. But just looking at Shakur and his skill set, range finding, distance, using the jab, body work was vicious. He hurt him to the body numerous times. Could have got him out of there. Just a typical performance from Shakur. I mean, I think that guy. I don't think there's too many guys really rocking with Shakur at all. 135. I mean, he did miss weight. But I think 135 is his division. 135, 140, 147. I think that'd be good for Shakur. As y'all can tell, I'm missing my partner. He's running a little late. He should be here later on in the show. But if not, we're gonna rock out. We got a special guest coming for you guys today, Jakim Hutchinson. He's fighting October 15th at the Maryland Live on the Tony Jetta card. Y'all don't want to miss that one, man. It's going to be a lot of talent on that card, a lot of energy in that event. It's a beautiful venue. If you've never been there to Maryland Live, make sure y'all go check that out. Shout out to Tony Jetta. Shout out to all the guys that's fighting on that card. And I hope you guys leave the ring the same way y'all came in. Wish for everybody to have good health during that card. What else we got going on in the area as far as boxing? I think that's the next fight. We're supposed to have Dusty's fight this weekend coming up October 1st. That was canceled. A lot of talent on that card too. And me talking about Anthony Peterson, Greg Sharpshooter Outlaw, Dusty making his comeback fight. Was really looking forward to that card. A whole lot of talent, a lot of DMV talent. DMV's loaded with talent, man. I mean, we've had a lot of the guys on the show, heavy hitters, a lot of amateurs that are going to be world champions. We've had them here on the show. So if you guys like what you guys are seeing, like what you hear, continue to tap in with Slip Encounter. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We on there, man. We're growing. We doing this for you guys. Let me see. I'm about to log in right now. See what we got going on in the chat. Don't want to be cooperating. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. Yeah, guys, like I said, we got special guests coming in, Jakim Hutchinson. He's out of the D.C. area. Phenomenal fighter. Speed, agility, quickness, his fast feet, can box his ass off. First time I saw Jakim fight, we was in Philly at the 2300 Arena. And I said, this guy is Floyd Mayweather-esque, like with the hand speed, the defense, head movement, how he runs guys into punches. He's a very talented fighter, man. If you guys don't know him, we're gonna get to know him today on this show. And follow him up. El Paso Route 1 Alexandria. Thank you for tuning into the chat. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Can't wait for that food drop. Make sure you guys check out El Paso Route 1 in Alexandria. I haven't had the food yet, but from what I can tell, from what I see, it's fire. So if you guys get a chance, please go check that out. Yeah, so the topic of the show is Spence versus Crawford. Is it canceled? Forced to fight Jaron Boots Ennis? Man, honestly, I don't know what the hell going on with Spence versus Crawford. I don't know what the hell. Every time I turn around, the fight is about nearing to be done. Then I turn right back around. They talking about the fight. The fight's canceled. Neither one of the fighters really want to talk about the fight much. It's like, man, honestly, with this fight here, my advice to everybody is to be patient. Keep being patient. We can keep talking about it. We can keep wanting it and begging for it. But all we doing is setting ourselves up for failure when we expect this and we not getting it. So just keep being patient. Let's put it in the back of our minds for now until we get that official fight date, that official fight announcement. And even then, take it with a grain of salt. You know how things flip in boxing. You know, the day before the fight, a fight can get canceled. So let's just wait until it's fully announced, and then we can definitely discuss that some more. But we talk about Jaron Boots Ennis. Man, that dude is an X factor. That dude can cross out anybody at 147. When we thinking about Crawford and Spence, who else we got? We got Keith Thurman at 147. It's a lot of dogs there. Virgil Ortiz at 147. That's a fight I would like to see. I would like to see Virgil and Boots. It may be too early for that in their careers for them two to fight each other, but I definitely think it would be an entertaining, talented fight. A lot of energy. Oh, we got my producer hopping on. He gonna hop on and talk with me. Here we go.
Man,
What you think? What you think about Boots, man?
Boots a killer, man.
Yeah.
Boots a quiet killer. A lot of people keep saying they need to see what he actually can do and things like that. And y'all gotta excuse me, I'm not normally on the show.
Right.
I'm just jumping in here real quick until the guys get here. But I like Boots. I like Boots. I think he's a big talent. I think he's a threat. I'd be kind of probably disappointed if he ends up fighting Spence first. The build up to the Spence and Terrence Crawford is a big deal.
Right.
And for those two guys not to be able to fight each other and really do things would be very disappointing, I think, to the boxing community. Myself as a boxing fan, I'm just really a big fan of boxing.
Right.
Not only does my son box, I grew up around a lot of these younger guys, and traveling with them, had the luxury of traveling with them and watching these guys grow up and become these young men. You kind of want to see them excel at what they do.
Right.
And Boots is one of those guys that in the amateurs, he was a monster. He was one of the people that if he wasn't getting the fighter trophy, best fight or something like that, he still won the championship.
Yeah.
So he can come in and disrupt that whole thing with Terrence Crawford and
all
Bud.
the money.
Yeah. Like
mess up all the money.
He's a threat. He's a dog, and he's a big 147
right.
pounder. He's not a little guy. So I've been hearing people say he has all of the skills and good things that Terrence and Bud have, and none of their bad.
Right.
So that's a big statement.
It's a huge statement.
That's a big statement.
That's a huge statement.
Everybody got their own personal opinion about who will win with Bud and Spence. I got that as a 50-50 from a fan base. I'm a big fan, so I was like, I don't want to pick. Like, I got a lot of respect for both of these guys, both of these killers.
Right.
A lot of people talking about maybe Terrence Crawford's the things that he's done with his business, as far as picking his choices in business and how he's moved around in the sport and things like that. As a fan, I try not to kind of get involved with that.
Right.
But you can't not hear it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't hear these different things about, the way he's moving around and things like that. And I'm pretty sure he has a lot of those things, then why, how, and whatever his situation is his situation. His perspective on his thing is different.
Yeah.
we outside looking in. We're doing a lot of assumptions. We're
Right.
hearing a lot of hearsay, things like that. So I wouldn't be able to really have I could have my own opinion, but what's that going to add up to at the end of the day? I don't know what that man bills look like.
Exactly.
I'm not in that man tax bracket.
Exactly. Nah, for real.
So that might be a different feeling right there, you know? But yeah, man, those two guys are dogs, and I would really hate for them not to get it at this point, because we like right at the finish line. And I hate for this ball to get intercepted.
I'm telling you, just like with Anthony Joshua and Fury, Usyk came in, messed all that money up.
Oh yeah,
tore all that money up. Now people don't even really want to see Joshua Fury. I mean, they still talking about it. I really don't want to see it, but I know the UK fans, they want that.
Yeah,
but I could
still watch it.
Yeah, I watch it,
but this doesn't have that same allure.
Right, it really don't.
It doesn't have that allure that it normally does.
And I feel like Boots are definitely coming here and could not I ain't gonna say easily, but I could see him defeating either one of those guys, and the money just be after the whole paycheck up for both of them.
I think Anthony Joshua is now showing us a little bit of personality. With his spats. Yeah. So I think that's comical. It's entertaining. It's like some, I don't know if it's real. It's like some WWE stuff, right. But it could be like a culture difference from the US to the UK and the way they do certain, like we don't do certain things that they do.
Right, they joke different. And
it's different. So it's comical to me. I'm a kind of a clown behind the scenes. Yeah, I joke around with my kids. Shout out to my daughter running the boards today. Shout out to my son. He's somewhere getting his hair done on his work day. Right, he said he'll be here in 20 minutes. Can I? I'm kind of filling in for him today. I do work for my kids.
It's the mastermind right here, guys. He's the mastermind behind everything going on. He put this together, so we got a lot of appreciation for him right here.
Yeah, I believe in you guys. Definitely believe in my kids. They have ideas, and it's not a one person thing. I definitely share my opinions with them on things, and I back them on these things as well. So it's a great feeling to see these things come to light. And it's really them doing it. A lot of people don't really realize that until they see them hands on. And I'm pretty sure you got to see that from the first time we met and those things, and coming to see like, oh, these kids are kind of quiet and things. And you see them actually hands on doing these things and really getting it done and coming up with ideas and designs. And both my son and daughter built this lovely set. Right.
Y'all gotta understand, the kids, they did this. They put this together. This is they ideas and everything. This is all them. People come here and they surprised when they see, oh, they running the show. They running the boards. They it's like, yeah, they did that. So you've been an entrepreneur your whole life. What did you instill in them to make them so independent and want to go get it?
I think it's just experience. My different experiences made me aware of my surroundings and what I didn't have. It was growing up when you don't have a certain things, you can your family makes it so you overlook it. They make you comfortable enough for you not to realize that you don't have certain things. It's not until you get into the world, like when you go to school and they're like, look at your shorts or look at your shoes, you know what I mean? So those things like that, I started being aware of what I didn't have. And I was pretty well off. I was lucky enough. My mom, which was a single mom, my dad died when I was fairly younger, but she made sure that me and my younger brother had everything that we needed. It never made us feel like we were missing out on anything. So I feel as though we were probably in the upper class, I would say. Right. But I was missing that fatherly thing once I lost my dad, and that hit me really hard because I was really close with my dad. Right. And something about not having that fatherly figure for that period of time, which probably a lot of you guys out listening, when you don't have that dad around, sometimes that makes you like the best dad in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a flip flop. You think, oh, I didn't have a dad, so I'm not going to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I see a lot of my peers, a lot of my buddies that didn't have their dads around.
Mm-hmm.
These dudes are great dads.
Right.
They're like you something to look up to. Like and I think that's because we know that missing void that we so much want to be a part of our kids' lives.
Indeed.
So my wife and I decided to homeschool our kids after a while. This is before COVID, before it became a thing. Back in the day, you homeschool your kids. They were like the weird kids, whatever. Though.
Yeah, I remember.
But we decided that because when we were growing up, for one, we're both entrepreneurs. We've both been self-employed since we were teenagers. Odd jobs here and there, but mostly just going after our dreams. So we saw coming up in grade school a lot of things that were missing that the schools didn't teach us. They would teach us these curriculums and things, and you know, unless you're going to be in a certain field and things, like certain algebras don't cross over to what you're doing right now. It just doesn't happen. It was the other things that we needed. You know, some people don't know how to balance a checkbook, simple things like that. Kids don't know about credit these days. So when they get into like the field of boxing, I wanted to kind of be hands-on with my son, because this is a scary world. Boxing's a dirty sport. You're already trying to kill each other in the ring. Then you got grown men with these kids, and their ego sometimes like is overpowers what they actually
overshadows
with the talent is kind of doing. And then my son, when he first got into boxing, he was like, be my trainer. I'm like, nah, because I saw a lot of the father-son combinations, and not all, but most of them didn't really work over the long period of time, because a lot of guys and me myself may not know when to cut it off or how to cut it off, because you're in the home and things like that.
Right.
My son is the only boy. Oh, excuse me. So he doesn't have someone to kind of play back with it and those things. He has two little sisters, so it's a different dynamic in the household. Now my son picks on my daughter
all the time.
All the time. They go back and forth, but it's they learning and play. So you know, I let them. And then once my daughter said, "Hey, you know, I could tell she get too irritated," I said, "Leave her alone." You know. But my youngest daughter, she's coming up, she's doing the same thing, and it's like my kids just, you know, they're doing the regular sibling thing, but he didn't have that boy rivalry going on. So it'll be just me and him, and we can probably end up bumping heads in the long run if I'm his trainer, coach, manager, you know, all these things, and I'm constantly barking at him, telling him what to do, versus him coming in the house and I'm just giving him a hug and, you know, messing with him, which he does to his younger sisters and things. So I never wanted to get to that point. And it was always, I saw like other dads that tell their kids stuff, and the kids feel like you're picking on them as the father. And it's just the father just telling you what he sees. So I used to do this thing with the other parents in the gym where I wouldn't say stuff to my son while he's training. I would say it to the other parent. I'd be like, "Hey, tell Shorty," you know what I mean? And then the other parent would say it, and he hears it.
It's different, right?
Yeah, it's a different tone, it's a different person, things like that. And he knows I do it, because I tell him, I'm gonna tell somebody else to tell you, whatever. He knows I'm doing it, but it still works. And I didn't tell him right away, of course, but that worked. So I'm lucky enough to see my kids grow, spend time with them, work along with them, instill these things, and not only tell them, because I think they learn off of what you kind of show them versus what you're telling them. So they see me get up. They see my wife working hours upon hours upon hours, shipping her art pieces around the world, and doing the logistics for these things, and showing the different parts of business, different parts of life, because we still have a romantic relationship as parents. We're young adults, so we still go out, we still have fun, we still I guess you say party together and those type of things. And the kids know that, hey, mom and dad are going out that particular day. You guys are not going. Me and my wife's anniversary is on New Year's, which is normally a big party, you know. But she always makes sure that we're with the kids, that we're bringing in that New Year with the kids. So we're showing them all these aspects of life, relationships. In the gyms, I'm showing my son how to people watch, so he can understand the nuances of how different people move around. So he can understand that and maybe not take offense to something that he will not in a normal light take as disrespect, and understand that it's just a human trait, and you got to put your kind of self in that particular place. Same thing in business when you're dealing with these contracts and things. It's like if you're looking at a contract and it looks like, oh, I'm getting everything that I want, then you probably need to look back at that contract again, because it's something hidden in there, because it's a two-party deal. If you feel as though that you're getting everything that you wanted, you're probably getting the shaft. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They made you feel that comfortable. They massage you all the way into that contract. So yeah, I get to put these things into these kids and really watch them grow and come up with ideas. When my son came up with his first model of headphones, I'm really excited. I'm my son's #1 fan. Yeah, you guys gotta get this thing about being on dicks. Excuse my language. My daughter's in here, but I'm gonna say it. She grew up in the gym. She understands being on dicks or being on balls, and you know what I mean. And realize there's nothing wrong with being a fan of someone you know.
Exactly.
I'm a fan of a lot of these kids that I've seen grow up. I'm a fan of. If I could say I'm a fan of Boots Ennis, I don't know this guy, but I could say I'm a fan of all of these guys that I've seen grow up, and I've seen them really work. They really dogs. Like I'm really a fan of a lot of these guys. I think one of the first local fighters I was a big fan of, and I was lucky enough to see him train and things like that. Eventually, as I got more into being around boxers and not just being a TV fan, was Lamont Peterson. Big fan. I used to go see him and his brother at different fights and things like that. Me and my wife, we were lucky enough, we were pretty well off where we can afford tickets right in the front and get the airtime. I remember I think it was the Armory, and he fought what's the guy from UK? Weak Chin. Amir Khan. Yeah. So him and Amir Khan fought, and my wife, you can replay that and you can see us in the audience. So that's how long we've been watching, boxing and participating, actually paying for this stuff. We pay for pay-per-views. We pay for the fights. I don't think it's pretty much a fighter that we haven't supported in somehow, some way, or repost, but we normally put our money up and support these guys because we see this is, most of these guys are not getting paid.
Russ, let me ask you about that thing. How do you feel about people that want to stream and fire stick all the fights instead of paying for them, just supporting the fighters in the card?
I mean, I can't lie. I grew up in the days. Remember the box had the little button on the top?
Yes.
I grew up in them days. You know what I mean? So the joint to mess up, I hit the button. So I've been stealing fights for years. But so I can't. You know what I mean? I can't really judge those guys. You know what I mean? I've been stealing movies and all that other stuff. That was just how we grew up. And when you grew up in a certain way, for you to have access, those are the tools that we had. You know what I mean? Everybody, if you know about that boxes, most of the time because we couldn't afford cable. Cable was expensive then and pretty much more now. And they're trying to take your cell phone. They get into all industries. So I can't really down those guys. I understand where they're coming from. Now, if I would say buy the fight, support these guys. That way the fights that we want to see come to light.
Right.
But if these guys that are not as well off decide not to buy the fight, I can't. I gotta kind of keep my mouth shut on those, that type of thing.
Right. That's a good point, because a lot of people can't afford to fight, but I know a lot of people that can afford to fight
and they
still stream it. It's like, man, if you got on $3,000 sneakers. You can't pay $80 for this fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of bugs me, especially being around boxers and being around, the fight game now. I want to support these guys. I want to buy the strings and pay-per-views just to pad their pockets. So even if it's my one contribution, I feel like I'm doing my thing for the sport. But I can understand
we get comfortable as people. We get comfortable. Meaning that if we have, when we get most people use the 5 sticks now. That's like the common thing. Yeah. So we get these 5 sticks and we get them in our homes to save money, and everybody looking for a way to get by, save $1, and that's our culture. That's what we've been doing.
Right.
Our foods come from that, trying to get by. Like, we used to get the leftovers. We real creative people. Right. We start creating these delicious fat-filled dishes, and you know what I mean? And now it's Thanksgiving. Right. You know what I mean? So a lot of those things. So we make do, and we make stuff cool. So when we get those 5 sticks and things like that, that's a comfort thing that we put into our homes. And that 5 stick has that feature. It's like, why wouldn't I click into it? You know what I mean? Especially if I feel like it's not going to be the best thing out there, because I'm asking for the big fights, and the big fights not happening. Right. And they got these sides of the street, and those type of things, and it's not set up. It's still set up in the old ways. It's almost like school. When you pull up into the school, our schools on the majority part look just like it did back in the 40s and the 50s. It's straight lines, and they got a certain time that they get up and things like that. And you look at it, how it translates over to maybe say like a Geico call center. That's the workforce. So you done graduated from school, now you to the workforce, and you're trained for these things. And they're micromanaged of when they can go to the bathroom and things like these. Grown people, like, you got 15 minutes to go take a, you know what I mean? Yeah, it had some Casamigos the night before. 15 minutes might not be sufficient. You know what I mean? Yeah, but they're getting points off of, and they're getting in trouble as adults for being in the bathroom too long. So a lot of these things are programmed in us and still the same. So we don't have the same things. Everything's still kind of the same. There's not a lot of change. So we get wrapped into this thing. But these sides of the street, and when we look at, say, like a UFC and their empire, it's set up different. They don't have sides of the streets because it's one person controlling the show, which could be a good and a bad thing. The good thing is their big fights get made. Right. Because the guy holding the puppet is saying that you guys are going to fight each other, or I'm going to shelf you guys. You know what I mean? There's not much to really run to. And most of those guys want to fight as fighters anyway. Exactly. Most of these guys in boxing, they're not scared of each other. But a lot of people don't understand, boxing is a business, and it's a big business. A dirty business, but it's a big business. So if fighters understand fighting, fighters don't come up being trained to know the business. And that's why they pay managers. That's why they pay lawyers. Unfortunately, it's similar to the record business. Those lawyers usually work for the managers or the promoter or those type of things. So it's recommendations being passed along. But who is actually on my side when I get that? Right. So in the real estate industry, it's certain disclosures you have to sign if you're going to be what's called a dual agent. If you're going to be an agent for the seller and the buyer. It's because normally you have to have a different agent to be on my side and be on your side. Who's going to look out for each person's interests? So they got a legal document to say for the person that's making the transaction, hey, you got to acknowledge that that he's working for both sides. A lot of that doesn't go on in boxing. It's not, and it could be a piece of paper. I might be misinformed, but as of right now, I don't know what the industry standard for that piece of paper. Because most of the time it's blanketed. You don't get to see that. We don't get to see that part on our side. You don't know if that lawyer is actually undercover working for the promoter.
Right.
That recommendation be because that's my lawyer or I have an agreement.
Right.
I got in trouble years ago, and I had a co-defendant, and this is years ago when I was young. I had a co-defendant, and we couldn't have the same lawyer. Right. It was the same case and everything, but we couldn't have the same lawyer. Mm-hmm. But in the background of things, these lawyers communicated with each other and things like that. Mm-hmm. So they could have been padding the pot and say, hey, these guys got a couple of dollars. We're going to charge them a couple more. They could have been working together and we wouldn't have had no idea. Mm-hmm. But legally, they knew they both couldn't work for us. Right. But they worked together to make sure, and I'm pretty sure this is a standard thing. So it's got to be the same thing in boxing. Business is dirty, but it is a business. Right. So when these sides of the street come up, business has to be made and it has to be making sense. So a lot of people maybe look at it and say, hey, as far as that Canelo, they was going to offer Canelo like 40, 50 million per fight and all that. And then they turn around and say, well, they don't got no money for Bud and Spence. Mm-hmm. It's a different dynamic.
Right. And all of that tied into people streaming fights and stealing fights. Yeah. The revenue's not coming in to make these mega fights for us. So when people are stealing and streaming these fights, they can't make fights. They don't have the money to front up for the rest of the guys.
Right. And that's one revenue stream that a lot of people, and that's the easy revenue stream to look at. But when you talk about businesses, a lot of things that come into putting together these fights, the site fees. If I'm going to have my fight at your venue, then it's a site fee associated with it. We get money from that. But then on the other part, you have to look at are we pulling from the same pool? Right. You got two black fighters that's about to have a mega fight, which is a big fight. Everybody wants to see it. But again, our culture, going back to our culture, we may stream a little bit more than some other cultures. Right. Maybe. I'm not saying that's a fact, but I'm saying we know exactly what it is. When I brought up that box, you knew exactly what I was talking about.
My dad had one. I remember my dad had one of them joints.
Yeah. So then we're talking about different cultures crossing each other. That's why that Mexican black fights are always the big fights. It's always a big thing because these two cultures now get together and pull different pools of people to make payments and things. And another reason why I'll bring this fight. With the heavyweight, the bronze bomber, Wilder. He's a beast. Right. But that amount of money generated before those two guys met, I'm not going to say they were making that much money before they came together and clashed. Tyson Fury. Reason being, you have a whole section of a world that Deontay Wilder normally wouldn't hit. That he may or may not be able to hit the same if he fought AJ, which is from that same area, but that skin tone does translate into different sales as well.
Indeed.
So you got to know that everybody knows is racism and things involved in boxing around the world. Could be just a black and white thing. You know what I mean? And different people play off of outside of the main media, the ESPNs and things like that, which I don't think ESPN really knows that much about boxing. They're world leader of sports, but they're definitely not the biggest big on boxing. It's more the YouTube guys that's really pushing this boxing thing. The social media is really, you can get your daily updates and all of that. ESPN is going to constantly, and I've noticed it a lot lately, they constantly give bad information. Lomachenko could be 0 and whatever. He ain't had no losses, but I do remember him losing twice. For some reason, when that lower third, the graphic at the bottom comes up, it'll say he's undefeated for some reason. You know what I mean? They've said Tyson Fury and somebody fight was already done, but it wasn't really done. We never seen that fight. Right. So it's a lot of things that come up, and those are those racist things that, the big corporations that come in and they give you that false information and false hope about fights that's not happening or may never going to happen.
Not to mention they signed to ESPN too.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to.
Well, it was cross promotion for PBC for Wilder.
Oh, for that card?
Yeah, for that. Wilder and Fury when they came. That was a.
I remember exactly what you're talking about now when they brought up Lomachenko doing that promotion.
Yeah,
I remember
you got
exactly.
a lot of things. Then you got when Terrence Crawford was over there with them. I heard more about Lomachenko on Terrence Crawford's card than Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that come up in this boxing and just the world in general. Playing off the point where you asked me about the kids, it's just all of these different things. And as an adult, I'm confused. So I like to be alongside my kids. And I've luckily been able to kind of do that. And I just want to see them be successful. I want to see them be better than I was. I want them to be better than they were yesterday. And it's nothing like somebody telling you you can do it. There's nothing like that. That's the best feeling in the world.
Right.
Anything that I came up with when I was younger, my mom, she was the best. Not only did she tell me that she could do it, she may give me a couple of dollars to do it.
To go do it, right.
So I try to be the best son I can be with her. And me and my mom have worked together now. You know, she's been a loan officer in one of my companies before and things like that. So I'm just passing on those things that I've learned and those experiences to my children, which I don't think they will get the truth in a public school and those things. I want to kind of control their curriculum.
Oh, for sure.
And they're, they're taking stuff out of textbooks now. Oh, how true can it? You know, what I mean, it's just it's so much stuff that I can veer off into.
Right, go into it, but
keep this into a boxing show.
I definitely feel you.
It look like we got Cardan is on his way.
Okay. Lil Cardan
on the way, so he can come in and run the show with his sister like he's supposed to.
Indeed. Hey, you seen they made Regis Prograis and Zepeda's official now.
Hey, Regis Prograis. He's a monster. It's a reason why a lot of these guys are not just calling out his name. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people not calling out his name for a reason. Now, does he have one loss?
He lost to Josh Taylor, I think.
Josh Taylor.
Right.
And from I think Josh Taylor's last performance, I don't think
it was underwhelming.
I don't think he want that smoke back with Regis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think he wants that, and I think he understands that that'll probably be not the best look for him, and he's kind of like in a box right now. Not Regis, but Josh Taylor. Like,
right? Didn't he have to vacate some of his titles?
Well, for whatever reasons, I don't know, but yeah he did vacate, so he's not considered undisputed now. But you don't want if you're not coming to 140, if you're not gonna stay at 140. What you gonna do at 147? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure one of those belts he can challenge coming up. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not sure which belt will allow him to do that, but I'm pretty sure he has like maybe 2 or 3, and one of them probably would allow him to challenge a champion.
He's got to be an interim title at 147. He could probably go up and grab and fight for.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's got to be something. You know, normally one of those sanction bodies allow you to challenge the current champion right away if you're coming up.
Right. Because you got Boots and Spence, the champions at 147. Not Boots.
No.
Spence and Crawford.
Spence and Crawford.
Why I say we've been talking about Boots so much. Yeah. Spence and Crawford are the champions at 147.
Right, so he'll be able to challenge one of those guys.
That's another variable in the equation.
Hey, look,
I don't think Josh messing with either one of them, to be honest.
Look, you even want to get knocked out of your eye socket.
Yeah.
Damage to your face and you know what I mean? It's those two of the toughest. I think the only guy that gives those two guys trouble would be Boots. I mean, there's some good guys at 147, but I'm just saying the names that stand out, the names that are ringing right now in the boxing community are those two guys, man.
How you feel about Virgil Ortiz, man? Like I like Virgil.
He's a monster.
He a monster. I feel like he might be a little bit target practice for them guys though.
I wouldn't say target practice.
What would you call it?
I'm gonna say that he has a different fighting style that may not be appealing to some people, and some people may not understand. I've been lucky enough to see this guy in person and see what he actually does. I've seen him in the fights on TV as well. He's a dog. He's really a dog. And I think that he's in that same age group, but his career is a little bit younger. So he might not have as much experience. So when it comes to looking at if he faces some of those top names, it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's the reaction that you get from people. And I'm like, I've seen this guy pull out some amazing shots and really get people in trouble. So I'll give you an example. He fought Mean Machine.
That was his last fight, wasn't it?
I don't think that was his last fight. I think
because he fought Mo Hooker.
He got sick and had to pull out a fight.
Then he got sick. Then he fought Mean Machine. Right?
No. It was
he fought, went. Put his box right. Yeah, put his box right.
He got sick, had to pull out a fight, and then he came back and fought. But that wasn't Mean Machine. That was recent. Yeah, Mean Machine maybe like four fights ago. I would say.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. Be accurate with it.
And he took Mean Machine head off, and Mean Machine gave Terrence Crawford.
Right, that's right.
Some trouble.
He fought Michael McKinson last. Got the TKO.
So Mean Machine was like, how many fights back?
That was Mean Machine was the second fight. So he fought Maurice Hooker, then he fought Mean Machine, then he got sick, and then he fought McKinson.
Right. Okay.
On that one card. Right. But his record's pretty phenomenal. I'm thinking back to the Maurice Hooker fight. I feel like if you got a long jab, you got a decent size reach. You know, Virgil gets touched with the jab a lot.
And that's I think that's stylistic.
Right, the matching styles.
Yeah,
his style with you take Virgil's style and put him there with Spence, who has a disciplined, powerful jab. I think it spells trouble for him. I'm not saying he can't compete. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. It's gonna be one of them kind of fights that you want to watch.
You know how Terrence get hit and it like he wakes up.
Yeah.
Virgil has that for me. I've seen, you know what I mean? I get that out of him. So he'll get hit, and that's kind of that Mexican style, how those guys fight. Like, they don't move. They don't have the same footwork.
It's different, right?
You know what I mean? So that's why you hear a lot of the coaches, the Mexican coaches say, you know, the black fighters are harder to fight. Not that they're tough or anything. It's because the feet makes it a difficult fight. The styles mesh different. Right. Versus Mexican, they call it Mexican style when they head to head, they standing right in front of each other. There's not a lot of footwork going on.
Right.
But when these guys catch you, they're devastating shots.
Right.
I seen Virgil and his dad working on a shot where his dad will lean up against the rope like that. And I seen Virgil go to the body and come over the top with a wide 8. And it'll come over the top of the guard. Wow. And it was, oh man. And then during the fight, he did it. And I was like, oh my God. You know, I saw them working on these things and these devastating shots. I'm talking about, it's not the normal shot. But you see it, and when they do certain things in there and they're up close, they break you down. And it's hard to sustain a motherfucker that's constantly beating on you and beating on you. Right. You know what I mean? It's not you and it's imagine you hit somebody with some of your best stuff and they still right in front of you. Take a step forward,
yeah.
That'll drain you.
Right, no doubt.
That'll drain you because it's like it's almost like a mental thing. If you're not mentally strong, he'll break you down. So I wouldn't say that it'll be a blowout or anything. I think those will be really good fights. Really, and I think he's right. I think he's right in there.
He's in the mix.
Yeah, I think he's right in there. We just have to see more of him. It's similar to, I say, like a Tank Davis. Everybody look at Tank Davis and say, he got a lot of power and he's going to knock you out and all this other stuff. And it kind of takes away from the skill that this guy has.
That's tremendous.
He's like almost like a master boxer at some point. And
who the heck go? Who in my seat?
Oh yeah, my man.
Oh, man. What in the world?
Hey,
hold on, bro.
You got my man Junior back in the house.
Man, put the studio cam on this dude, man.
This dude
got a lineup that he can come in here talking crazy. See that shape up boots on, y'all? That's crazy.
Yeah,
what's
man.
up, bro?
So I appreciate it, guys. I just filled in for my guy right here. Hey,
this man got a shape up.
It's been a rough week for everybody, so we got to make do. But
thank you for stepping in and helping out, man. I appreciate that for sure. We just switch sides, man. Do you want to switch back?
No, I want BINK seat.
Well, we got to switch the shirts and everything, man. But it's all good.
So hello everybody, this is BINK Boxing here. I'm here with my boy Junior, the Golden Boy.
Get your Miguel looking at.
Oh my God.
Oh, let me adorn you.
Oh man.
Hey, that cut fresh though. My boy got the curls out.
Coach Rick, I appreciate you.
Goodness gracious, man. Out here looking like genuine.
Oh my God. This is not gonna stop, huh? So this is how you're feeling?
What kind of phone you got? What is that?
The Fold 4.
Oh, okay. You got a Game Boy on there?
Yeah, I put the little Game Boy wallpaper on there.
That's crazy as hell.
So I gotta keep up with you, man.
Man, I'm not technical. I can't even type, to be honest. I don't even know how to type.
Yeah, you don't know how to type. I can teach you.
I type one finger at a time, but let me do it, man. This is Slipping Counter Podcast. We're at the Kenichi Bed Studios.
There it is. There it is.
With my boy, Golden Boy. I'm your host, BINK. He finally made it to the studio. You all right, yo?
Man, it's been a week. It has been a week, bro.
For sure.
And then today, all I want to do is get my Chick-fil-A like I normally do.
Hey, let your car battery die, bro. It ain't even that cold yet. It ain't even that cold. It got cold for 30 hours. And
Slim. I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I was like, all right, good. Then this random guy, man, it's crazy how things work. This random guy just walked up. You know how you got jumper cables?
Yeah.
This guy, I got his number, and I ain't even get his name. He wouldn't take nothing from me. Mm-hmm. He was like, no, y'all good people. He got this thing was about this big, and you just hit the button and you attach the black and red to it instead of it being the old school long cable.
Right, that kills your battery.
And then just hit the button. I was like, the jumper bar. He was like, yeah, keep it, bro.
He gave it to you?
Yes. Oh, he just gave it to me.
Shout out to my man, yo, for helping you.
No, boy. He just said, oh, yeah, y'all good people. No, I said, nah, man, here, take this. No, y'all good people. Keep it.
Damn. That's what's up. Blessings come in all kind of shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Joints not cheap.
Yeah.
Joints is not cheap, man. But let me catch you up to speed. So we started off with my condolences with Buddy.
Oh.
And then we talked a little bit about Spence and Crawford. Boots got thrown in there. Virgil Ortiz got thrown in there a little bit. But I'll let you catch up to what we was talking about. Hold on, in the chat real quick. We got Megan say happy Friday, y'all. What's up, baby? I'll be home soon. El Paso, Route 1 Alexandria. Shout out to Mr. Wolf for always throwing knowledge to the youth and young adults. Respect. Indeed. Also, guys, we do have El Paso, Route 1 coming on the show here soon. They're going to be doing a food drop. You guys do not want to miss. It's going to be good. I'm telling you. I can't wait for that
I already told him.
drink.
He know what to bring me. I already told him.
We got Joey Chaz in the chat. Says Spence first bud only does 350K pay-per-view buys. It's a flop.
What?
That's crazy.
Nah, I disagree with it, but at the same time, I see where you're coming from because fans are getting tired of that mess, man. They getting tired of that. You stalling the fight longer and longer, and it's like, you know, that's what we was
talking about. It's a business behind everything else. Is business behind
business. My ass.
Business.
Business my ass. I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because first, got to do this to Buddy. I'll throw a funny story real quick because he always has some jokes. I'm about to spar this. At first, I went up there. It used to be at the Crab House. First, it used to be right on Alex Ferry. Then they moved up to right across from Iverson by the Wendy's. And I go in there. He always knew me since I was a kid. So I'm finally coming back into the groove of things. But they ain't had nobody for me to spar at first. So they was like, all right, well, you and your teammate could go ahead, just use the ring or whatever. And they said, oh, no, we got somebody for you now. I was like, all right. My dad's like, all right, cool. And
Terry Smith, what's up?
Guys selling the Wolf tickets. They like, yeah, you know you about to spar, right? You know. Kid from just came from the Silver Glove National, such. And I'm like, all right. So I get in there, I start moving. He's looking at my boxing boots. He go, man, those some fresh boxing. Those some nice. They dusty. Those some nice boxing boots. I said, thank you, sir. He said, Dusty's like, yeah, those are nice. Everybody around it, yeah, those some nice boxing. Man, those are nice. What women's catalog you get them out of? I'm like, what the? And you gotta think, my anxiety, it was up at that moment because I didn't have that much confidence. I knew I could fight, but I didn't have that much confidence. And it was just relax. He over a sudden, I start boxing. He watching. He look. He go over to my. How many fights your son got? He said, my son ain't got no fights. Nah, that's a lie. He said, they're talking junk. Hey man, get this kid out of this ring, man. They're talking junk all the time. You know what I mean? Also, we say, hey Tammy, how about we go visit? He said, no, he's getting out today. Well, bring him by the gym. They took him by the gym. They all private for me. That's just the type of person he was, man. You know, and it is. If he had to play that music for him at the visual, man, that was his thing. You know, that old school music for him, that was his thing, man. But, you know, rest easy, coach. And that last gift he gave us was everybody came to the visual. All the old fighters that were top amateurs, Zimmy Dickinson even popped up. Carlton Gray popped up. Fess. Sly, myself, the Poe family, everybody that left boxing but was still like connected to it because your team is we ain't all been together in years.
Right.
And even Mikey Fox said Fest was like, this was Buddy's last gift to us. All of us together. We all look, send me dapping each other, calling, we all like, yo, we all together again.
Ain't it crazy sometimes how death brings people together like that? And you'll rekindle some shit you never thought you would rekindle, like a friendship or a relationship. It's crazy how that happens sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Really is.
But I don't want to stay on it. To the whole thing with Bud and Earl, I'm gonna give y'all a quick little history lesson. Of course, you know, my dad boxed with Ray for a long time. Oh, thank you, my dad. You know what? Real quick, let me get this right.
We not sponsored by Chick-fil-A, by the way. Not yet. We honestly should. He spent $1,000 a week at Chick-fil-A, so we should.
Hey, and why you laughing, Miss? Stop. Why you co-signing? It's always Miss K, our producer, with like the littlest grin that gives.
His Chick-fil-A bill higher than most people's mortgages. I'm telling you.
So
and that's a week.
Man,
No
so
cap.
leave me alone, all right? So they were gonna Tommy and Ray were gonna fight in 80. Some people know, some people don't. They got together. Angelo Dundee turned down the fight. Wasn't Ray. People thought, okay, maybe Ray's finally scared, whatever. But you gotta think he just went through hell and back with Duran. So he wasn't scared of Tommy, but he knew Tommy had turned the corner. You remember Tommy from the amateurs. But Angelo Dundee and Manny Stewart said it best. He said, no, let this fight keep building. It's almost there. This is gonna be a big, big promotion. Y'all keep fighting each other's opponents. Because what they were doing, a lot of times, like what Holyfield did, like, okay, I'm moving up to heavyweight. Everybody that Tyson fought, I'm going to fight and see if I can stop them sooner than Tyson stopped them.
Right.
And kind of that way. So it was
Mikhail
like, all right.
Maskia, thank you in the chat.
It was like, okay, how about we just keep fighting each other's top mandatories or whatever, and then we see each other. And when they saw each other, it couldn't get no bigger. It was at the right time. And I think now, it's so, I get it. Back then, they didn't have the logos on the trunks, but that ain't got nothing to do with the contract. That's your sponsorships. But, you know, it's still the same contracts. Gate, the pay-per-view buys, the this, the that, closed circuit, whatever, that gets split down the middle. Ray Robinson with Carmen Basilio, all of that it's still brass tacks. It's still the foundation of how a boxing contract gets done. So, now it's just kind of got watered down with so many fights happening later than it should. I mean, Lewis and Tyson.
But that's like kind of my point, though. If you look at what we know, Terrence wants to fight. Terrence will fight right now if they could. I feel like Errol took a more calculated route to get to Bud than what we demanded from him. True. But he went and got the straps he needed to have that
advantage,
that bargaining power at the table, right?
Yeah.
So now Spence wants to fight too, just as much as Bud wants it. I believe that. I believe both these fighters want to fight. If they could come in this room right now and knuckle up, they do it. What else could be holding them up besides Bob Arum, Al Heyman, whatever's going on besides with the paperwork, the contractual agreement, stuff like that? What else could be holding them up? Because we know the fighters want to fight.
I will say, the fighters do want to fight. Yeah, they do want to fight each other, but is it the same? Like, okay, you might have a guy who say, yeah, I want to fight him, but he may not want to fight the guy as bad as the other guy want to fight him. Like, yeah, I want to, because I'm not saying that that's what's actually going on, but I'm telling you, I done seen it where
I feel what you're saying.
Where it's all good when you in front of this camera right here. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, yeah, whatever. Then when they start sending messages back from contract to contract, this, that, and the third, all of a sudden you outbidding yourself. All of a sudden now you want these particular gloves. All of a sudden now you want it's just the littlest things to keep the fight from happening longer to start, and it's way past just mental. It's way past like, okay, we gonna mess with this dude mental type of thing. It's past that. Nah, it ain't that. It's different when dudes get across that table, and then all of a sudden things get negotiated. It's sometimes it just be like that. Nobody can sit there, and I don't even think Bud's still with. He's not with.
No, he's not with.
Yeah, he's with Daniel Kinahan.
Is he?
I think he's still with Kinahan.
Who just signed to Rock Nation? That wasn't Bud. I could have sworn I saw something pop up. Said,
Bud was seen with
right.
Jay-Z.
Okay, and people took that assumption.
Oh
he was
yeah.
okay, that's
yeah.
what it was.
I know what picture you talking about.
Okay, that makes sense.
But Bud had that same Tyson Fury. What's the guy?
MTK Global.
So MTK Global.
Right.
They were trying. They were making sure that those connections weren't there because now you got the Treasury Department and things like that involved in this, and those things have to be make sure that he's not going to financially benefit from Bud making that fight.
Yeah.
I know that is actually one of the things that was going on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That makes sense then. That makes a lot of sense.
Who's the guy that runs PBC?
Al.
He's gonna make sure that paperwork right.
Oh, for sure.
Of course.
For sure. Right. At that level with that much money involved, I know they rereading, got lawyers rereading and flipping through upside down and backwards to make sure that shit is locked in tight. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel I feel like between the two, I feel like Bud definitely wants to fight a little bit more than Spence. Bud been advocating. Bud been calling.
This the thing though. What's gonna happen if Bud wins? Does he really win?
Go undisputed?
No. Forget about the belts. Does he really win?
If he beat Spence?
Yes, does he really win? Because you know what's gonna happen. Oh, you fought Spence after this many fights, or you fought Spence after the car accident, or you fought Spence after the eye injury.
That's why they gotta fight him. I don't think so. I think he redeemed himself.
Yeah, he did when he
I
fought
believe
Danny.
so too. But you know, we grew up in the fight game, so we gonna look at it that way.
You know why I think he won?
I mean, man, if
that'd be
that
crazy.
fight,
that'd be crazy. If Bud go in here beat Spence, then go up and fight Charlo. Ooh.
Yeah, but this weight class is for a reason, dog.
No, I'm telling you, Charlo big, no homo pause.
God, dog, that man, his weight class is for a reason.
I still wonder how he even make 54 for real.
Slim, I keep telling people, man, I'd have been in that ring with some. I've always been the smaller guy in the ring, with height but smaller. Hey, man, take some power off that shit, dog. Take some power off that shit, dude. Like he 18s on 14s on, like, God almighty, like Jesus. I'm telling you, it's just a certain. It's the higher you go and weight, the more you have to. We find out if you really got skills or not, because now it's so much more difficult to make the move and slide out on different situations, and because the guy's imposing so much more,
right?
So much more. It's a lesser window for you to slide out because now you smaller guy coming up. But Bud, the thing that's good with him is that he has that boxing ability, he has the grip, but he's stronger than people realize.
Bud's a fighter.
He has much more punching power than people realize. And
see how he hit Kell Brook, put him on through the ropes with a swivel jab almost. Like,
yeah, it was a counter over the top stick. Yeah,
that joint was crazy.
It's and when you throw that type of shot, it's kind of difficult because the way he did it, it's kind of like you're throwing a hook, but you're kind of anchoring it a little bit, and it's kind of just to like block my hand. Yeah, now you're trying to come over.
That's
it.
exactly what he did. He came right over that joint. It wasn't conventional at all. And that's what I like about Bud. That's what makes the fight so interesting. Is Spence he's here. He's very conventional. Not that you can see what he's about to do, but he executes very well.
Yes.
And then you got Bud, a guy that's not unconventional, but throws punches at angles that you wouldn't typically see. That's what makes this fight like who gonna get touched first in a crazy way.
The thing that got me about Bud was the Ricky Burns fight. And I'm gonna tell you why I always bring this up. It was the Ricky Burns fight for me. Not the Gamboa fight, none of that. I always knew he was through the amateurs and stuff. I remember when he got scratched that. I remember when he got robbed in his hometown in the amateurs. Bruh, so the National Golden Gloves was in Omaha.
Right.
He was on the news. It was like a huge deal that Nationals was going to be at Omaha, and our own Terrence Bud Crawford And he had the whole USA outfit, so he was already going back and forth to Colorado. So he's coming in there, and he was stomping. I mean, he was on one. He was dropping dudes and stepping over him, and John almost got disqualified. That was crazy. I'm like, bro, yo, you about to get disqualified, dog. Chill. He going to that last fight. I felt he won it. And the crowd was screaming. But remember how I was talking about Big Phil Jackson, how they whoa, they were screaming, but, yeah. They just knew it's coming home. You know, we got to get a car for this boy to go down the street and, you know, whatever. And when they raised that other boy hand, remember how we was at that fight a few months ago with Outlaw? Like, man, it's about to be a ride in this joint. Like, it was about to be that, but it was about to be that. And it was crazy.
That's what kind of blow me about the amateurs, man. Like, I hear all these stories. People keep telling about the amateurs and how fighters get robbed. When clearly everybody know they won the fight, but the robberies. So then it's like the records skewed a little bit, like on a curve for some of these guys.
Oh, yeah. I got friends who records is like 186 and 13, but really they records should be like 191 and 8. Like something like that, right, you know, like, right. Like
so I mean, that's just how it grain of salt, because then it's different from the pro ranks, which you guys been telling me all the fighters that came in here. Amateur and pro boxing is completely different.
Side note, I'll tell you this: I'm not gonna say the person's name, but I done heard situations in the amateur. Man, it's been
quiet
stuff.
As his cat. Look, yeah, quiet as his cat.
I've had situations, man. I done had some situations where people be like, you know, if he don't knock this kid out, they really looking for that kid to beat. The kid that he's about to fight is already on nationals team. He's already this. He's already that. And if he don't knock this kid out, he got 8 count him all the hell he want. But if this boy can drool and stumble his way to the center of the ring, his hand getting raised. Right. Because it's too much investing into the kid. Like, I done seen that multiple times in multiple fights. I done seen it even locally. Forget nationally, I seen it locally. Young came back from Colorado. He fought a teammate of mine. This teammate was known to be lazy. In and out of the gym, whatever. But he could fight, though. But you knew, man, if this kid, he was one of them, this kid ever put this together, he'd be all right type of kid.
Right.
And it's like, all right, well, you already know what's going to happen, because he had lost to another top fighter from the area. But then he fought him again. And he really won, but they gave it to the kid. Then he fought him a third time, and he really lost again. So it was like kind of a big deal. So, but nobody expected for him to beat the kid that was nationally ranked. Man, that Bama rocked up. I didn't even expect it. He rocked up, boom, catch the boy fell right on his butt. I was like, everybody, I mean, you know how everybody stand up, go screaming. Everybody was like, oh, wait, what just happened? And this man was hurt. I mean, dog, he wasn't hurt. He was hurt. Right. I mean, that shot was perfect through the glove, like shift, all of it was dead. And I mean, in the amateurs, for people who know, it's different from the pros. They consider you a child until you turn open. So this was novice. So if you get wobbly leg or you're not even allowed to bleed in the amateurs. I had one bloody nose. Like it was like a little bit of blood. And they stopped, and this was a referee that was practicing. So they was like, you know, sometimes guys be sparring without a mouthpiece, stuff like that. They said, up, Junior. That's why I put the mouthpiece in. Now a little bit of, I'm like, I had to dab a few times to get the ball. I was like, oh, okay. They said, nah, I'm good. They said, no. Because they practicing their rules. Right. So they said, they had to send me to neutral corner. So I'm like, it's so different. And so if you get hurt, how I'm about to explain this kid was hurt, the fight should have been stopped. Flush right hand. No stumble, no nothing. Boy fall flat on his butt. Gets up. Falls again, Trevor Burbick style. So serious. And in the amateurs, because in the pros, you know, they say if you stand up and fall again, it's an automatic stoppage. In the amateurs, if you get up and you stumble twice, they're supposed to grab you and wave it. This, they didn't want to stop it because this boy was so, I'm like, man, that boy already got that brain already done shifted, because I knew it wasn't just he buzz shot. No, he was hurt. Like, oh yeah, that brain shifted. And we looking, my whole thing was, I hope my friend don't run out of gas, because sometimes that could be so demoralizing that the fighter runs out of gas. Man, that joint went to decision. They raised that boy hand. And everybody just was like, y'all know why they did this, right?
They did it again.
You know, that's just how it is, you know, but and even that plays a factor with Bud and Earl. That the judges, they can make money in Vegas. You know it'll be stupid to go. It'll be good, but stupid if they go into Earl's hometown. Like if
the odds, the fight odds.
It will be good, but stupid if they go to Texas.
Cowboy Stadium.
That would be dope. But
80,000 people, 90,000 people in that joint. Ooh.
Shoot, 100 probably because they, you know, the ring only it could be about what 20 feet. That's still got a whole rack of seats to put around.
I don't think they use the top.
Yeah.
Tier fight nights. I don't think they use that. I think they
okay.
like 80, 90,000 people in that.
Because I remember when Manny Pacquiao was right there, they said if we need to, we can make it to 110,000 if we open up the top.
Right.
So I was like, dang. So it's like you got guys that you got this them type of fights where, let's say if it's Cardin or let's say if it's me fighting or whatever, y'all, let's say y'all the brain trust, like y'all, that's that conversation you have with your team, like, how we doing this? Because those are one of them situations you got to save your fighter from himself, because he'll just go fight. Like Bud would just go fight, and you like, dude, do you know the odds that's stacked against you now? Because the judges, the this, the that.
Shit, when I'm looking at the odds here, Terrence Crawford's odds are -120 to defeat Errol Spence Jr. That gives him a 54% implied win possibility against Errol, the true Spence Jr.
Yeah, he the favorite.
Bud's the favorite in this fight.
And he wasn't at first before, right? It wasn't like that before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either.
It wasn't like blown out, but it was like, I think Earl was the favorite at first by a slight margin.
By a slight, yeah. Now it's Bud. Even when I post my little poll on my Instagram story, it was slightly towards Bud. Around the same. It's about 54%, I think, or 60%. Everybody thought Terrence would win over Earl. Let me ask you this. We talked about this too. If Spence and Crawford don't fight, and Boots, he's the mandatory one of those guys, I think. Boots fights either one of these guys, does that completely derail Spence Crawford? Like, will we even ever want to see that fight if one of them takes a loss? And depending on how they lose to Boots, depending on how, if Boots goes in and punishes.
Y'all can't see me.
Nah,
I said it.
Nah, for real. But look though, but look. You wasn't here. I'm trying. So like, if Boots going there, I'm about to get your reaction. If Boots going there and punish either one of these dudes,
man,
what does that do for the fight? What does that do for the fight?
Bro, that's a big 47 pound. Like, you remember how people saying, man, Earl, big 47 pound is shit.
Nah, Boots back wide as his table.
Man,
like,
and Boots about my height almost, bro. Like,
yeah.
He almost my height.
Boots serious, bro.
But that could mess the money up, bro.
That's what we said. Jack the money all the way up.
That could really mess that money up because that boy become the mandatory to where. See, this is so sad because it used to be. I remember when Marvin Hagler was fighting, and he had to fight Mustafa Hamsho twice because he beat Mustafa Hamsho, who was the #1 contender, and then Mustafa Hamsho fought back up the ranking back to his #1 contender again.
Mm-hmm.
These days, mandatory ain't necessarily like that. And this is why I say that, and this all gonna make sense with Boots. People always criticize my godbrother Gary when he was WBC featherweight champ. Mm-hmm. I said, really, he's doing what the WBC asks of him. He's defending against his mandatory, which looks good on the overall record when you retire. But the way he was doing it, he's not wrong, but he was fighting once a year. And if you knew what Gary went through in the amateurs and the injuries and all that stuff, it made sense. But basically what he was doing is each sanctioning body, each belt organization has their rules. And of course, same rules apply. If you don't fight your mandatory between a certain date, you get stripped. Okay, cool. Cost your zoo, whatever. You could just go down in history. But this is what he was doing. If Mr. Wolf and BINK I'm the champ and I got the belt. BINK's ranked #3 in the WBC. Let's say I got like 2-3 belts. BINK's ranked #3 in the WBC. Mr. Wolf's ranked #1 in the WBC. Miss Kayla's ranked #4 in the WBC. But in the WBA, in the IBF, BINK is ranked #1. He getting tired of waiting on me. He getting tired of waiting on me. All of a sudden, he get a call. Hey, the IBF belt is vacant. You want to fight for it? Yeah. Because his mind gonna be thinking, if I win that belt, then that brings more cachet to the table for me to fight Junior, because Junior got the other belt. So then I can bring some more to the table. That's more money.
Right.
That's one less threat. Then it's threw up in Miss K. They going for the WBA and the WBO. They ain't gonna pass that up. So now I'm gonna fight the fourth least threatening guy. That's my mandatory. Mm-hmm. Get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So when you do that, it changes that narrative a little bit about, yeah, he fighting his mandatory. It's a big deal. He defending against anybody. So now you got Boots. And we all know Boots is dangerous.
Boots is Spence's mandatory. So how does that fight go?
It's not going to happen.
For example, hypothetically.
That boy work a lot. He throws a lot more punches. I could see him stepping over to cut off Earl, mimicking his movements and shooting stuff that really irritate Earl. Because that's how Earl irritate people. He looks so fundamentally simple. But all he doing, and Mikey Garcia said it best, as soon as you think you got him for a counter, he's just that much out of the window. Because all he's doing is just going here, going back over here, step out, bagging, roll over here, pivot a little bit more, go back over. It's just little steps. It's like a ladder, a circle ladder. So if you got somebody like Boots, who in my opinion is like Bud 2.0, because this man was switching and shooting different shots, but also he's staying more. He's just like Bud was staying in top shape, but he's also, his feet a little quicker than Bud's. Mm-hmm. His side steps, his pivots, things like that, a little bit quicker than Bud's. And it's like, what if he controls, one of the things that could piss off a fighter like Earl is like, look at what Buddy McGirt said about Pernell Whitaker. He said the first fight, anytime he jab, I jab. Whenever he lifted his hand, I lift my hand. When he went, and it gave him fits. And when you do that, because it's like every time you move, it's like a mirror almost. When Ray for Benitez, he told my dad, man, it was like fighting a mirror. Everything I do, he did, it was hard to adjust. If he does that, he could cause a lot of problems. Because then you know how Boots love to shift, and lean, look out that back window, pull in, slide out, boom, pivot over. That could be an issue. That could be a big issue because he'll probably be able to take that shot.
That's a good point too, though, because like you just said, he likes to lean and he gets caught like that a lot. Boots does.
Sometimes he rolls with it with his face. And if you watch the Delorme fight, remember the Delorme fight? He got caught, but he caught it with his glove, and he went to his father, and his father told him in the judgment he's gonna throw that. Yeah. And he said, man, because it went through the glove, and you could see Butler, whoo, step back. It's like, God, dog. You know, so that's just how. But that could be a dangerous fight. He could mess up a lot of money. And in my opinion, I'm just gonna say this now for everybody. Don't be surprised if Boots gets some step aside money so this thing can happen. If this keeps lingering on, and Bud and Earl still ain't fighting, and Boots still putting his name, because remember, Boots was fighting nonstop. Remember? He ain't fought in a minute. First he was fighting like every 2 months, 3 months. I think so, yes.
Is he? I'm on box track right now. I don't see it. You gotta keep
him busy. But the biggest thing is about keeping him busy is boxing is an out of sight, out of mind game. So once now he's back out there, that talk builds up again. So then it's like, all right.
I feel like Joker's always gonna talk about Boots though, because he the one everybody want to see.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
Would you pay Boots step aside money? So if y'all two are Al Heyman and whoever Bud got, or just Bud's camp, would y'all pay Boots step aside money so this thing can happen?
For it to happen, yes, but not because we don't want to fight Boots.
No. You gonna have to see him anyway.
That's
because after it's over with, it is what it is after that.
I would pay him.
He can fight him. I'm just saying from the standpoint, if Spence wins or Bud, They both won the 154.
That's true. That's true too.
There's no mandatory. That mandatory is obsolete.
Right. That makes sense. That's smart. That's another smart move.
Fight the small Charlo, undisputed. Spence already said, I'm like finished with the weight class.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But I would pay my step aside money to not mess up this money.
Exactly.
Because this is business. End of the day, like they're gonna cash out on this. Everybody cash out on this. So why would you risk that paycheck? Like you always say, the risk isn't worth the reward with Boots, with either one of these guys. Not right now. But I would love to see that fight, man. Boots versus any of these guys. Spence, Crawford, Spence and Virgil, Spence and anybody 147. Keith Thurman. I know Keith don't want to be a measuring stick. He be talking all that third person stuff.
Man, Keith Thurman, bro.
But man, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing. I believe in Boots, but I want to see a little bit more.
Of course.
Before he jumping in with one of these two.
Tested a little more.
So who would you like to see him tested against at 147 before he get a shot at Spencer Crawford?
Keith Thurman.
Oh, okay, Thurman. That's what you
throw
think
him
too?
out there with Keith Thurman. Make him step out there. Pay Keith what he deserves because he's been out there a long time and he deserves it. But step him out there and then let it happen.
For sure. It's gotta happen.
I'm sorry.
It's gotta happen.
Keith did look good his last fight. Don't get it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Like he looked good. But nah, shorty. I got him getting because he can't take a body shot and Boots be shifted to the body, dog. God, hey.
Who got the more wicked body shot, Boots or Earl?
Boots.
Think Boots got more?
Just from torque, just from how he torques into it, like the momentum, the leverage. But at the same time, you got to give Earl his props because sometimes you might need more leverage to and then or whatever. Earl, he could get it just from here a little more, which is good, which is beautiful because he ain't got to exert as much.
Right.
But at the same time,
comment section.
Oh, Lord.
Omar Williams, I like how and what y'all talk about on this show is different from the status quo. Omar, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate
Much
you,
love.
man.
Simba, nah, he said you guys for sure. Keith just want that money. He saying let Boots fight you guys before he step up and fight either one of these guys.
Yeah, Ugas is another one. Ugas is another one. Yeah, but I got him stopping Ugas or like stopping around the 10th again. But, you know, because Ugas has been through a lot through the amateurs and pros, and he's getting older and he's been in some wars. But same thing with Keith. Pay Ugas what he deserves.
He said, Simba said in my Canelo voice, payday, payday. He want a payday,
you
payday.
Want payday. I know that. Pagos.
Get the fuck out of here, man. You want payday, payday. Get the fuck out of here.
This is my night. Oh, man. But
no, that's good stuff, Simba. Appreciate that input. You guys. Forgot about you guys.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, that would be good, too. But you know how much money you going to have to pay these guys to step out there? So Keith ain't stepping out there unless you paying him over $1 million. He ain't doing it for nothing less.
He deserve it, though.
Yeah, he deserve it. Oh, yeah, he deserve it. But he know what he's stepping into. Yeah, he know, man, I ain't stepping out there unless y'all doing this. He know. And we all know that if it ain't the right opponent, Keith don't look good a lot of times. He can't take a body shot.
Right.
And he can't really fight when that pressure on him going backwards. If he has it under control, he could go backwards.
Right.
But no, I don't see it at all. So it's kind of like it's if I want to protect my fighter and my money, this is one of them fights, like I said on a previous episode. Kenichi in my line, didn't I not say this? He's all wrong for us, baby. You don't need this. Remember Rocky too saying anything? Let it go. We don't need this guy.
Right.
If we don't need this. If we have no other choice but to see him, we watch the weaknesses and we get ready. But if we ain't got to do this, we don't need this guy.
For sure.
So you just, that's, if I'm the coach, I'm saying that. Because in my opinion, Boots ain't going to be at 47 too much longer either.
Right.
So y'all do what y'all do at 47, then go up to 54, let Boots do what he gonna do at 47, and then climax y'all careers with him.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Now let me ask you this. I like that point. That's gonna bring me to this point. A question I want to ask you.
So you just come in my closet and take my shoes?
Come on, bro. You know these my joints, bro. You know these my joints. Let me ask you this question though. Boots, Virgil Ortiz. Hold on. Let me finish. Because both of these guys are climbing, and both of these guys are like the ghosts on Pac-Man's ass, chasing them dots. They right on his ass, on their asses. I want to see that fight, but I want to get your opinion first.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get that fight while they're young? Do we let them grow and then come back for a climax fight, for a major fight later in their careers?
If you in Virgil's camp, yeah, you do that. Because I ain't got him beating too many of them.
Were you saying do it now?
Hell, if you in Virgil's camp,
right?
Hell no, you don't do it now. You protect that kid.
Make sure we clear.
You protect that kid. You save that kid. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sorry, I don't think his skill level is on their skill level.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching him fight. I'll give y'all a story. I remember watching Virgil. He fought in the amateurs. Of course, he's better now, but I just want y'all to really think of the boxing ability here. Oh, what's that boy name? Frank Martin.
Mm-hmm.
He fought Frank Martin in the amateurs. I think it was the Ringside Nationals. He fought him. And Frank was turning him like a mother with no problem. Like,
Frank nice though, Frank.
Yeah.
Shout out Frank Martin, yo. He nice.
Don't get me wrong. Virgil, of course, has gotten better. But to me, in my opinion, Virgil is going to be another typical come forward fighter. Like if you don't have a motor, he's gonna burn you off, bro. He's gonna burn you, and he's gonna break you down in the process. He's gonna leave a piece of you there that you'll never get back in the process.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got size, durability, you got good speed, combination punching, and don't mind moving your feet, he's gonna be just like Cinnamon, lost in the headlights, bro.
That's what you just said is what I tried to tell Mr. Wolf. Big Car Dan. I said target practice. I think I was a little bit aggressive with that statement, saying he'll be target practice for those guys. I think just stylistically, he's at a disadvantage stylistically against those guys with the movement, the athleticism. He's not as athletic as those guys. So for him to have a chance, he has to go get them. His offense is going to have to be vicious. His output got to be vicious to catch these guys and slow them down.
He has it. What? Okay, so he throws a lot of punches. And he breaks people down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to Jose Ramirez? I'm not even saying it to be a jackass.
Nah,
I'm like,
no bullshit.
Like,
you talking about with Josh Taylor?
Yeah, and then let's go back further. Mildred Taylor versus Chavez. Even though Chavez did the smart thing by, all right, I'm going to take this kid's 5, 3, 5, 8 punch combinations, but I got to make 2 of these shots back count and make it count.
Mm-hmm.
So he's landing this shot and it's breaking this kid down. But when he fought Frankie Randall, and we all know about what Mildred's mental makeup and what led to that, and kind of was a double-edged sword almost, how he was doing. But, then you go forward and you go to Frankie Randall, who didn't throw as many punches as Mildred, but he didn't waste any punches either.
Mm-hmm.
And was just breaking Chavez down. And then Chavez just kept coming. He's just running into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, some guys, man, that can hit and got a motor, if they come to somebody that throws enough punches and throws the right punches at the right time and don't take no stupid punishment, they lost. And Virgil, I believe, is one of them guys who's gonna be like that. Who it's different when you get hit a guy and the guy don't go nowhere.
Right.
If that guy could take that shot, it's just a different ball game. Perfect example. Swift Jerry Hurd walking through Bamas.
Right.
And I'm over here shaking like a leaf, like, bruh, they all laughing at me in the gym. Man, J-Rock too small. J-Rock this, that, that. I'm like, okay. J-Rock is that dude who will be perfect to be on the inside with him and just turning him just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough. Turn him just enough. Get over here. All right, just turn him. Smiling at him. Stuck his tongue out, smiling at him. Jared, oh man, that joke was. You dream of nights like that. Like your
Right.
whole career, you dream of being in a zone like that. The Buster Douglas nights and all those type of nights. You dream of them type of nights. Marco Antonio Barrera versus Hamed, but you.
In the chat, we got Christopher Daly. He said Donald Curry versus Mike McCallum. Provide another example.
Yes, or when Donald Curry the Texas Cobra when anywho, but like when that daggone Cobra from Texas, Donald Curry, when he fought on 2 weeks notice, that Bama turned and fought the ragamuffin man from London, Lloyd Hunnigan, and Lloyd Hunnigan was on one that night. Wait, I understand with Donald Curry cutting 30 pounds still, like, I get it, but man, that man was on one. You just got certain guys that you hate to say, the styles make fights, but sometimes it just be like that. Yeah. And when you got certain styles, it's like, yo, what did I say about Canelo last week? Say Canelo, when you in front of him, that man look like Sugar Ray Robinson. Yeah. Saying they giving you all this, all this stuff. But as soon as you have an established jab, a consistent jab, a defining jab against him, and you don't stay in front of him, that man is like, man, like I was earlier, dead in the headlights, trying to find out how I'm gonna get this battery to start on this car real quick. Like I left the jumper cables around the corner.
Man.
Like, man, where am I gonna go with this? That's exactly how, man, I ain't got no shame. I don't care about laughing at my damn self, but that's how it be. Mm-hmm. And you got somebody like Jose Ramirez. You seen that happen with Josh Taylor. You got someone like Virgil Ortiz, Maurice Hooker, who had been in too many wars by the time he fought him, was still giving him problems. Even though Virgil's young, he's still learning. He's still becoming a complete pro. And he's going to continue to be better. Mm-hmm. But I just don't if he don't add some extra stuff to his game, he ain't got no damn shot in hell to stay in there with any of them guys.
Christopher Daly. Simon Brown, the former IBF champ, is another one of those fighters too.
Yeah, against Buddy McGirt. Buddy McGirt did a number on, and Simon Brown close to my heart, me and my father, for years. Till this day, see him, man. Oh, this is Matakia, what's up, baby? Like,
Simon down in Hagerstown.
Yeah, man, that dude was a monster.
Right.
But Buddy McGirt had the recipe. Buddy McGirt didn't even look like he broke a sweat that night.
Right.
And then what happens to Buddy McGirt? He fights Mildred Taylor. Mm-hmm. And Mildred Taylor just moved just enough and was too fast-footed and threw too many combinations.
I was watching some Mildred Taylor a couple nights ago.
Wasn't he beautiful, man?
Yeah, he was nice.
Wasn't he special?
He was nice, man.
Jesus, and had the heart of a lion. Mm-hmm. Would sit there but that was also to his own detriment, man.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. Check out this break from our sponsor, Route 1. El Paso Route 1 in Alexandria.
Remember my plate. I'm telling y'all, Route 1, y'all remember my plate. I don't care if you take this to commercial. I'm making sure whenever they watch this, remember this face? El Niño de Oro.
There he go. There he go, man. There he go, man. Look, let's cut this quick break. Check out El Paso Route 1, Alexandria. Love to the show constantly and consistently. If you guys are in the area, in the DMV, make sure you guys go check out El Paso Route 1, Alexandria. The food's phenomenal. I cannot wait to get down. I probably won't eat until next week. Just so I can save room for that, John.
Oh, they next week? Is it next week?
Is it next week? I'm not gonna stamp that yet.
Yeah,
But
don't stamp it yet.
It's
Don't
in our
get me
near
hockey.
future. It's in our near future. But guys, we got a special guest.
Oh, yes, indeed.
In the building. He's here. A talented fighter from the area. I'm talking about he gets it done. It done. Former teammate, good friend of mine. Go by the name of Jakim Hutchinson. We're gonna bring him into the show right now.
Come on, little bad man. I ain't called him too. I'm calling what I always called him, little bad man. That's my guy.
What's good, boy?
What's up, Brody? How you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man.
Good.
Should have some headphones right there.
All right. You said there's something? Yes, it's something right here.
So, man, thank you. I want to thank you first for taking the time out your day. I know you busy as hell, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
We ain't got a whole lot of time, but we got enough time.
Yeah, we got enough time.
Yeah, man. So appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
How's everything been? Anything new with you?
Well, you know, we in camp right now. We got about 2 weeks left to the fight. The weigh-in is in 2 weeks, so our weight look good. We got some sparring going on later on today, and so we just training, focusing in on the fight. And we just at this point, like I tell everybody, it's like it's a lot of theatrics and stuff that go on, but at this point, you just ready to fight.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that go on, a lot of cameras and stuff in your face, but you just ready to fight at this point.
For sure. Now we looking at your opponent. It's a rematch, right?
That's correct.
How did this fight come about again? Is this something that you wanted, or they just presented it to you?
Kind of both.
Okay.
After my last fight in August, so we was going through opponents and whatnot. We actually offered a fight to someone. I forget the kid name. We offered a fight to him, but he turned the fight down. I guess he wanted an easier fight. So we going through opponents like, so who we? We're going through opponents like, so who we going to fight? And then so I always wanted to spin a block on this one because this is my only loss. I'm 6-1. This is my only loss, majority decision loss. So I always wanted to spin a block on this one and get this fight back. And he wanted to fight as well too. So he's like, hey, it's the perfect time to do it right now. There's a belt on the line for this one. It's like a year later. So I got me 4 fights since my lone loss. It's time to spin a block and right that wrong that we had.
For sure. Where do you feel like you sharpened up since that one loss?
Why you take my line?
My bad. My bad, bro.
It's a good one. I think it's my my mental IQ in the ring. Being able to make adjustments on the fly. So if my boxing is not working, then I can go forward a little more. Going forward, if I'm getting touched a little bit too much, I can go back to boxing. But just switching up, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where the adjustment came for me. And plus, I'm just sharper and faster, more experienced as well too. So I feel like that's always a good thing. When I'm in the ring, I'm always comfortable. A lot of people talk about me smiling in the ring a lot, but that's just my comfortable zone.
Me
That's
screaming at you saying
Yeah.
damn work.
You know what I'm saying? That's just where I feel good, you know?
Yeah.
So just being in the ring like that and just be able to do what I want to do, I feel like that would carry over to the fight on October 15th and lead me to victorious.
Oh, indeed. Now, without giving away too much of your game plan and what you guys plan on doing, when you look back at that last fight, what are some things that you know you did wrong and things that you plan on doing to fix them this fight?
I think I rushed in a little bit too much. The game plan last fight was, because he's a little bit taller with longer arms and stuff, so the game plan was kind of like to shorten the distance or work my way on the inside. So I feel like it was a sloppy fight last time. I caught a head, but I caught like a small little scratch on my face as well too. So it was just a real sloppy fight. So I think rushing in a little bit, trying to shorten that distance up, double jabbing and stuff like that. And then with his style, it allowed us to clinch, and then we come right there and stuff like that. And that's when it got real sloppy, you know. But for this fight, we're not going to do that.
For sure.
We'll be more smart with it. So if we get on the inside, we'll work our way on the inside smart. And everybody know me. I'm a boxer. So I'm a boxer. That's number one. Everybody know that. So once I box,
boxer puncher, and I got experience.
I'm a boxer puncher. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie, man. That last fight, you was really sitting down on some shit.
I was sitting down on some more shots. We got 6 rounds. So I was able to take my time more. I wasn't able to feel like I was rushing, you know. So sitting down more on my shots and everything, I feel like that helped me out as well too. And I'm gonna carry that over into this fight right here. So we're gonna box, we're gonna punch, we're gonna make sure that he feel my power and everything. And we're gonna switch it up. So we're gonna box sometimes we might be on the inside, but I'm gonna show y'all the versatility of 2-shot for this fight right here. So people will definitely be in for a show.
For sure. That's what's up, man.
So the history with me and this guy. Don't start. So, I'm a moment. I remember when he had the long dress. I still got a picture I'm gonna show before we leave it. I remember when he rest in peace, Coach Tim.
Yes, sir.
Came over. We was at Hillcrest with Jaron and everything, and he when I was coming fresh back, he was helping me with my strength training and stuff like that.
Yes.
I never forget that stuff, man. I always appreciate you for that.
For sure, for sure.
You know. But always had a good, even when you don't want to throw everything hard sometimes because it's way worse to throw a power shot and you miss. So he always had a good, everything was strong. Everything about it was strong. Everything was compact. But he didn't. Some guys is like that. They don't like moving their feet. He did. That was one thing I always appreciated about him. He didn't mind moving his feet. He didn't mind pulling out, looking and seeing what's going on, pulling back in, like knowing why he's clinching, stuff like that. I started to see more and more of his IQ going up more and more and more as we was always training together. We was together for about 4 or 5 camps.
It was something like that.
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 training camps when we was helping Jared. It was and it was a lot of what we was doing, circle work together.
Right.
And then the day when he hurt me, like we worked out. Funny story. So we had worked maybe 2 or 3 times before that, and man, my father warned me. He said, "Hey, use your experience. Try to keep him turning or whatever." Man, this one day, every shot, even one shot to the shot, I was like, "Oh Jesus, I made a mistake." Hey, we teammates. Come here. Hey, take the power. Give me a hug. But I've always been happy at your development. How you've always turned the corner. You didn't let the first loss bother you too much. You got back on the drawing board, did what you were supposed to do. And I've always been, I've always said it to you, proud, but I want to make sure I say it on this platform. I've always been proud of you, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You know it,
I
man.
appreciate it. For sure, bro. For
sure. I remember. I think I called you right after the fight, right, or the next day.
Probably a day after. I think you wanted to give me some time. You was like, I know you got a lot going on right now, but I just want to talk to you, let you know everything, keep your head up and whatnot.
Yeah, everything gonna be all right. And
for sure.
I want to applaud you on being level-headed after that loss. You didn't take it, and you kind of, I know people criticize you from things you did in the ring, but the way you kept your levelness, and you just knew you was gonna come back and perform.
I just knew I was gonna come back. And I was talking with my team about this probably like early in the week when we was talking about the fight and this upcoming fight. I said, he got me at a good time. I was 2-0 at the time. Was going for 3-0. We had a lot going on. I was dedicating that fight to one of my close friends from college. She called me earlier in the year, and she actually had breast cancer. So we was fighting in October. She's breast cancer awareness month, right? So I had her name on my shorts. Actually, her name is Glennis Armstrong. Very, very, very strong woman. She's very good people, a good friend of mine. And so I had a lot on my mind and stuff like that. But like I tell people, I don't make any excuses. He's the victorious man that night. And he got the W, so I always say I don't make excuses, I make solutions. So the solutions that I make for that fight is I corrected during all the training camps that I had from that fight, all the experience that I gained from my 4 fights that I had since then. So we finished that fight at 2-1, now we're 6-1. And now we'll be coming out to fight October 15th at 7-1. And so we just gonna keep building and keep growing, and it'll be a different outcome
for sure.
October 15th.
For sure. Now we all know the difference. That was a 4-round fight the first time. Right. This one's gonna be a 6-round fight. Yeah. So if you can explain to people who may not understand what's the difference and what advantage does it give you? A 6-round fight.
Yeah, so all of his fights, he only had 4 rounds. So I had 1 6-rounder. So I have experience going 6 rounds. And I went the whole 6 rounds. So I already know my condition and cardio was there. And I already know how to fight and how to pace myself so I don't gas out.
Right.
So I'm able to pick it up in the fight, able to slow it down in the fight, able to sit down on punches more, as you stated earlier. Because I just have more time to do it. I don't feel like I'm all rushing. And it's kind of like an amateur style where I want to go and just hurry up and get it out and just punching the bunches, punching the numbers. It's not that style for this 6-round fight.
Right.
Of course, it's not a 12-round fight, so we don't have 36 minutes. But I'm able to take my time more and strategically break them down. That's why you hear a lot of boxers say that they playing chess in there and they set them up. So I know if I throw a jab, I know he might slip this way, so I might feint a jab. Boom, just throw the right hand right there because he's gonna slip his head already over there. So I'm able to use my brain more in this fight, and you'll see more of my IQ come out. Like you said, you saw my feet and stuff like that, so I'm able to use more of my foot movement and have my feet put me in position to throw a different shot. So it's gonna be fun for this fight. I'm gonna be able to show a lot of things. We're definitely gonna have fun in the ring on October 15th.
100%.
You're supposed to be impartial, but I don't give a damn. I want to make sure that you use your feet. when he try to get sloppy on the inside, know where you ain't got to put your feet straight. Turn that joint to the outside. Move that head under him. You want to try to be tall and like do what I used to do, try to lean on. Man, okay, roll under, shoot it under,
shoot some shots.
go under to the body, touch it, come up top hard. Do it. I don't care. I said it, damn.
Yeah, no, it's cool because all of that stuff that we do, that you just talking about, we're working on that during camp. So whether we on a mix, working on it, whether I'm inspiring and I'm working on it, it's just giving me experience with it. So that's muscle memory. So like when I'm in a fight and whatever he brings, I don't know what he's going to bring. Of course we had to fight, so he's probably going to make adjustments. But whatever he's bringing, it's like I already saw that in sparring. So it's already muscle memory. So I know how to react to it, whatever he brings. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm caught off guard and surprised by anything that he brings, you know?
I got you.
And I had countless more rounds now to get adjusted.
To get adjusted.
Better.
Exactly. So I'm just comfortable.
Right. You've gotten a lot better since that loss. I can see it. You got and you've settled down. You more relaxed. You was already relaxed with the smile, but I can definitely, like, stylistically, you in there. Like, you were definitely in your bag.
Yes, sir.
We got Irvin Fuller in the chat. He said, Too Sharp definitely been working their minds well, hand that belt over now.
Yes, sir. That's my man, Irv. Big Irv. Okay. He at my gym.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Love, Big Irv.
Might as well hand that belt over now, for sure.
Hand over right now, for sure.
Indeed. So what's your record again?
6-1.
6-1. And, we spoken off the air and everything, but do you have any, like, big shots? Anything on the table for you maybe coming up soon?
Be careful. No. You know, I already know. I already know that. People call me and tell me.
I mean, shit, you gonna come in the studio, we gotta ask you some questions, you know. Can't let you off the hook.
You was a funny guy. You know, people are always talking and we always getting phone calls and everything. So Top Rank ESPN has reached out multiple occasions for different opponents as well, for fights. It's another manager that's in the DMV area that I've been in discussion with. I won't name him. Of course, you already know.
Right.
I know.
But you know as well, we've been in discussion with that as well. So that could be something potentially big down the line. But I don't want to speak on it too much. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. I'll say this for you then. For people who don't know, like, oh, he's not trying to say nothing. You gotta understand especially when you're a prospect. You know, you learn early what happens in the gym stays in the gym. You stay stuff like that, and as he's progressing, they be like, "Hey, why didn't you take the time or anything?" No, sometimes it's not the smartest thing to do. You have to make sense because you have, like I was saying earlier, you have fighters where you got to protect the fighter from himself because they will fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, whether their experience is ready or whatever. And sometimes you got to think anybody. Let's say they want to sign Sharp, cool. But they more high on this other guy that he's about to fight that's been on there for, let's say, 2 years. They could sit there and stack all the cards against you to make it easier for them. And now it's like, all right, you can't just drop this guy. You got to stop him. And if he's still drooling and can make it to the center of the ring, they're going to raise his hand.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's always it may be a longer road. You may look at our former teammate, Jared, he took a lot of B-side fights, but it was the right B-side fight at the right time. Everything was perfect.
It lined up.
You know, it took longer because I remember when he turned pro and everything working up. And then when you came into camp, he was probably he was about 13-0, 14-0.
Yeah, about 14.
You know,
I think,
and he was turning that corner.
Yeah.
But still, it took longer because he was fighting local, but it was still right there at that right time. So it's smart what you're doing.
Yeah, like I tell people all the time, I don't have to, at this point right now, I don't have to rush into it and take fights that I don't want to take. PBC actually reached out to me as well too, was offering me a fight. It was actually on a card, I think it was June 18th. I think Charlie was supposed to fight, but he got a back injury or something like that during camp. So that fight ended up not even happening. But like I said, I'm getting calls and stuff like that all the time. So don't just think that I'm just keep taking local fights. Like, of course they're going to call. But it's about, like you said, it's about lining up when it's the right time. So I'm a believer in God, and I feel like it's about God's timing. So whenever it lines up and whenever the right time is, whenever the right opportunity is, that's when we're going to capitalize on it. But we already planting these seeds in the gym right now. Every day that I go to the gym, every mile that I'm going and I'm running, every strength train, every weights that I'm lifting, everything, it's all to lead up for that right opportunity, you know. And October 15th is another step towards that opportunity. It just continue to win, and the calls and everything's gonna keep coming. And once that right opportunity comes, that's when we'll take it for sure. We'll cash in on it.
For sure. Let me ask you this, man. So in fight camp, what are you doing to get your mental focus and stay focused on the fight?
Yeah.
Doing what we used to do, still dancing.
All the time. You gotta have fun because Ernesto Rodriguez, he says it all the time. Like you gotta have, and Brandon too. You gotta have fun doing this. If I go in the gym every day and then you don't make it fun, like we just in there is a completely business 100% of the time, hitting the back, hitting the mids, then sparring, whatever it is. First of all, it's a lot on that body, and it's very, very, very sore. Then I gotta go home and I'm like, man, I'm struggling to get around because I'm hurting so much, man. You really don't want to do it for that much longer, you know. So we're just gonna make it fun.
Right.
So I mean, around this time it's easier because everybody. I'm a pro boxer, but football is my favorite sport. So it's easier for me to go home and watch football. I can chill, relax. I'm in my bed chilling. You know what I'm saying? Allow my body to rest and recover. And then I cut other people off. So Brandon told me this all the time. He was like, if they don't bring you peace. And if they don't keep your mental good, they're not good for you around this time. So he said, cut them off and leave them alone. So I said, cool. I could put my phone down. I could put it on Do Not Disturb. And people get mad at me because I'm not responding back to them or calling them back or texting them back or anything. But I'm focused. I'm locked in. Like I got to tell these people.
You not getting in the ring with him.
You're not getting in the ring with me. I swear you can't take none of these punches with me. I swear you can't. You can't dodge none of these punches. You can't throw none of these punches for me or anything like that. Right. I'm the only one that's in the ring at the end of the day. I got my team with me, and they tell me what to do. They see it from the outside, but I'm the only one that's stepping in that ring.
Right.
So if you're not doing anything to enhance me or to help me, I don't need you at this point. So I just keep it to my boys, my group chat, my gym mates. That's it. And all the outsiders and all the people, I just got to cut them off because it's not good for me. So I just cut them off and allow my mental to stay focused and stay locked in. And then we just go in the ring whenever we fight and we get the job done.
Right.
Simple.
Now, your fan base, man, you always travel with a big posse.
Yeah.
All you see is 2 sharp shirts all out in the crowd, man.
For sure.
How did you build such a loyal fan base?
That's a good question. I mean, I got good family. My family stays with me. And then friends, you know. So a lot of my friend groups, my man Jaron, we go way back to we was like 11 to 12 years old when we first met. Tracy Glover, we go back to 11, 12 years old when we first met. That's way back to middle school. And then my high school people, we stayed close ever since. Chance, Coop, my boy Juice, Sheldon, just to name a few. I don't want to leave nobody out. Marcus Steele. I got a lot of people, just loyal friends, you know, that stayed with me. And then they say, oh, you doing this? Oh, you fighting? When? All right, bet I'm going to pull up. They buy a ticket and they come and pull up to the fight. They get my shirts and everything. So that is what makes me happy. So a lot of people see me smiling, but a lot of smiling that I do is to keep me calm and it keeps me locked in. But I also smile when I see my fans out there and then I see them like rocking me, supporting me and wearing my shirt and everything. It feels good, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Y'all ain't catch that because y'all looking at that camera. He gonna sit there and say, that's why I smile. And look at me like when I was fighting, I wasn't smiling all the time. No, I yell at him when he showboat. That not smile. I don't give a damn about the smile. I don't care about that. Like I yell at him, he knows. I yell at him when he showboat. When he start whooping on the dude real good and he know he got the guy under control and he wanna sit there and show, start doing this with his hands. No, finish this dude.
It's funny that you say that because my trainer, I was working out with him yesterday, Martin Gibson. That's my strength trainer.
Yes, indeed.
He said it to me yesterday. He said, work the jab. He said, work the jab, keep boxing him. Talk about the first fight. He was like, when you was boxing him, you did your thing and you made the fight pretty easy. It's when you start doing the other things, whether that's showboat and whether it's rushing in or the shots or anything like
talking
that.
that shit in there. You be talking that shit.
But listen, I don't talk unless the person talk to me.
Right.
So it was
Yeah,
like
that last fight, dude was on
I
one,
swear,
y'all. Y'all
like-
didn't hear what we heard.
He was talking a lot. Like, can we cuss on this?
Yeah, you good.
Oh,
you
cool.
good.
So, all right, bet. So, excuse my language. Excuse my language for the people that was talking.
Right.
So, a lot of people don't know exactly what to tell him. Man, he was telling me, you a bitch.
Yup, I heard
He
it.
said, you hit like a pussy. He said, you can't touch me. Fuck you. He was saying all that
all
shit.
kind of good shit.
I said, damn, you gonna be talking to me like that? But I was like, you're losing the whole fight, bro.
Yeah.
So, that's why I was smiling and I got the showboating a little bit with him. And then Martin, when I came back to the corner, I think it was after the 5th round, I came back to the corner. He was like, nah, stop that shit. He was like, focus in, lock in. He was like, let's get this W. Let's continue to win. You know what I'm saying? He was like, don't, because with a fighter like that, when you getting whooped the whole fight, they're just trying to do anything to get in your chin out. They just trying to get anything. So once they do that, they feel like, okay, I got it. I'm in his head now. So after the fight, it's funny. He came up to me.
Yeah, I was right there.
You know, he wanted to take a
Yeah.
picture with me. He wanted to talk to me and everything. He was like, man, don't worry about it. No trip. It's just sports. I'm just trying to get your head and all that stuff. Ooh. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. But I wasn't trying to hit none of that. You know
Nah,
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? Because, like, you don't have to do that. But he did it
Yeah.
anyway. You wanted to take it there. All right, we can do that if you want to take it there. But,
Right.
you know, I just try to stay calm, keep my head on straight, just get the W as I did, and just keep working. But people, like you said, but I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay locked in. and it's all business.
That's that
now.
professionalism in you.
Professionalism.
But
Yes,
it's beautiful. But I'm so you because he knows Jared, all of them. They all every time they fight, they would come to me. All right, Junior, you break down everything. Well, how did I say? No, you look beautiful.
Yeah,
And I told
okay.
you in the back, man. No, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
He looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was nice. Was right when you started to get. I want to say round 4 or 5 where. At first, you went to the inside, then you step back out, but then it was like, okay, he's talking more. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep on letting you follow me. Come on, follow me over here. Follow me over. All right, now follow me back over here. Run him to the shot, and then go on the inside. You would make sure you pull everything, everything into it. And then shoot, turn,
get out
reset, everything all over again.
Beautiful work.
It's funny that you say that. A lot of people, when they saw the video, when they looked at the fight, they were saying, well, he got his hands down, man. He's supposed to tap me or tap him and everything. But a lot of people don't know he was trying to bait me into a shot.
He looking for the counter.
He tried to counter. He tried to bait me in. So I see your hands down, but I'm not going to rush and just throw any shot in there. And then you run me in or something, boom. I pride myself on defense. Because when my face going to the ring looking clean, I'm going to come out the ring looking clean just like that. So I don't want to take any shots. I pride myself on defense. So I knew he was baiting me into a shot. So I had to explain that to people like, listen, calm down. I know you want me to rush and just get him out of there and knock him out and everything, but it's not like that all the time.
Right.
Listen, I don't have no Tank power or no Mike Tyson power where it's one punch knockout and I get him out the way like that. It's not like that. I have to break my opponent down over time. So I know what type of fighting style I got in my corner though. So that's all that really matters. So we're able to go into the ring and execute the game plan. But he like, why you ain't doing this? Why you ain't doing it? Why you doing that? And I'm like, this is like you're on the outside watching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Allow me to just go in the ring and just work. It work. That's it. That's all I got to do.
We got a question for you in the chat from Christopher Daly.
Okay.
He said, question for the fighter. When your career is all done, what would he like to accomplish and be remembered for as far as boxing credentials?
Oh, man, that's good. So I'm at the 122-pound division right now, super bantamweight. The number one goal for me right now is to get to that top level and win a championship belt. I know Stephen Fulton got 2 of the belts right now from Philly. Great fighter. He got 2 of the belts right now. So I got my eyes up on the top of the division right now. And one fight at a time, just continue to get up there. So I guess we'll win some local belts first, some regional belts first. October 15th, we got an ABF belt on the line. So we're just going to keep winning that and win it up. Then we're going to get to the top 4 sanctioning bodies, which is WBC, IBF, WA, WBO belt. So we just want to keep working and get up to that level and win some hardware right there. And I think we accomplished the 122-pound division. We'll move up to 126. But right now, we just want to focus on 122. And that starts on Saturday, October 15th. So we just got to get that job done. Just continue to win, just continue to go up from there.
That's what's up, man. I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
As your career progresses, world champion, unified, undisputed. You have a full-time job.
I do.
Do you enjoy your job? Is something that you enjoy doing?
It's okay. It pays great. So
that's
I feel like that's the motivator for me with that job. But boxing is me. Boxing is like what I do. Sports is what I do, period. Since I was like 11 or 10 years old, growing up, I was in organized sports, playing football. I ran track, played baseball and stuff. So that was just me growing up. I was always in sports. So I feel like that's where it trickled over to me in my professional world when I'm boxing, right? And I always want to see, I want to go to your game or I want to play. I was like, no, you can't play boxing.
Oh, hell no.
You can't do that. People dying right now. You can have fun moments. No, listen, you can't play the sport. So I feel like that gives me a different mindset where I know I have to treat my body right. And so when I go into the ring, those are all team sports, baseball and football, except for track. But I'm running by myself unless it's a relay or something like that, right? But boxing, I'm the one that's in the ring. They're the only person, only me and my other opponent, right? So, but you asked about my main job. So, I mean, I do cybersecurity. So, it's okay. It pays great. But I don't know if I foresee myself doing that for the rest of my life. I feel like a stand that I use is be at where my feet at. So right now, I'm just living in the present moment. That's just what I'm doing right now. 10 years down, I don't know how I could be doing something totally different. So
I like that. Be at where my feet at. I'm
yeah,
about to
where
start
my
using
feet
that.
at. Yes, sir.
That's what's up.
I want to say that, to the question that Christopher Daly said about, what is his goal, things like that. Those are dope goals, but, I trained with, we had hard training camps, bro.
We did, man.
But we all had fun, and especially, y'all always made me feel good if I was the morale of the gym, whatever, coming out the hospital. But take this as one of the things for when you leave is that I can definitely say to my nephews right now, when they looking on my phone, like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this? And I tell them each one is they think we're superheroes. My nephews think that we're superheroes.
Yeah.
So they all say, yeah, that's Too Sharp J right there. I call him Little Bad Man. They was like, oh, is he a good guy? I said, yeah, he's a good guy. He's a class act.
Yeah.
That's why I think they'll say, man, whenever he came to fight, he made sure all his fans were taken care of.
Yes, sir.
And that's one thing I know, because I know, and that don't sound like a big deal, but it is, because I know fighters who once, and it's rightfully so. When you get to the arena, you don't want to talk to nobody. Like, you had plenty of time to call me for a ticket. You had plenty of time, get it. I get it. But at the same time, he's always trying to make sure that whatever outfit he wearing, you feel like you're emotionally attached to him by wearing that same shirt. Whatever. You want to make sure that y'all okay. Things like that, and that's a class act.
Yes, sir.
Belt or no belt.
Yes, sir.
You hear me, bro?
Yes, sir.
So I could always be able to say when you call it a career and me and you still keeping in touch, whatever, and then I run into you. I got my nephews, they probably 10, 14 by that time, and be like, that's that same superhero you saw. Yeah. Yeah, he was a class act.
I pride myself on that because I don't want to get too big headed. And I feel like I just don't know the people from where I started with. I see that all the time. Like, once they get to that big level, when they blow up, they say, well, you too small for me. Well, I don't know you anymore. Nah, those same people that was there with me from the beginning, grinding with me to get to that level. Once I get that level, still the same people there with me. Because why would I change up? I don't know you guys, new people now. Y'all just came around, So I pride myself on that. And I love my fans for supporting me. So they support me. And like you said, I want them to look like me because I change my colors every fight. I want them to feel like you said, like they're emotionally there with me. They're attached with me there. It was like, he wearing this color, that's the color that I'm going to wear too. And I just got great fans that support me as well too. So I really love all of my Team Too Sharp, I call them. All the Team Too Sharp. I really love them and I appreciate them for always there supporting me. Like, what I do, whether I fight here, whether I fight up in Philly, they drive up. They always there supporting me, and I appreciate Team Too Sharp for that.
Oh, for sure. I want to give a quick shout out to Tawny Chapman in the chat. She donated $5 to us.
Sweet.
So thank you. Appreciate you. You have another question from Christopher Daly.
Okay.
Hold on. Before I get into Christopher Daly, guys, we do have a link posted on the screen, the phone number and the access code. You guys can call in and personally ask Too Sharp any questions that you guys may have. But this one right here from Christopher Daly, he said, if he could fight a dream fight from one of the former champs in his division, who would it be and why?
Ooh, former champs in my division.
From any era?
Yeah, I guess any era, right, Chris?
Oh, I know a good fight for him. Go ahead. I want to see.
I think I know what you're going to say. So tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Go ahead, shoot.
So when we was in the gym one time, I think this is when Carl Frampton beat Leo Santa Cruz. And then he was telling me, he's like, yo, you got a style similar to him. I like the way he fight and all that stuff. I was like, cool. So since he said it, I don't know if that's what he was thinking, but I'll just name that. I'll name Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton, he just retired not too long ago. Great fighter. He's a class act guy as well, too. And I feel like that'd be a clash of styles right there. So listen, it might be a good fight. So I would name him off the top of my head right there, Carl Frampton.
Okay. I can see, cause dang, I can't believe you remember that.
I remember that.
Dang, that's love.
I remember that, bro.
That's love, baby.
I remember
that's Hillcrest bloodline for y'all.
Sure.
But man, I could, man. Danny Romero would have been a good fight for you back in the 90s. God, you would have had to really throw a lot of punches if you fought Johnny Tapia. But shoot, Kevin Kelly would have been a good one. Abner Mares would have been a good one.
Abner, yeah.
But the ones that I know without a doubt, you probably would have won with ease without having to go to war much. Like Johnny Tapia probably had to go to war. Daniel Murray may have to go to war. But shoot, Abner Mares, I could see you outboxing him. At that time, definitely. The only thing I would worry about is those. He was known to pick it up 8 through 12 or whatever, and be like, all right, preserve 1 through 4 so you could pick it up 8 through 12 because he's gonna try to come and try to close the show. Those type fights or Carl Frampton, those type. I could definitely see like winning with ease. And then messing up a lot of money. You would have really messed up a lot of money for people.
Yeah. I feel like that's what we gotta do. We was talking about Jim about that recently. He was like, I could just leave the back door open, just leave the back door crack, and we're gonna kick the door in. That's it. That's all that we need. We're gonna kick the door in. We saw it done before and we can do it again.
Definitely.
Lord mercy.
Miss Cleo in the chat. Thank you.
Man, I mean, dang, man, there's so many memories with this guy, man. It's so many. I remember when he had the longest dreads. Y'all, I can remember. Man,
I seen the picture.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even
Yeah,
imagine.
my hair was long. It came
You know what
down
picture
like
it was
this.
that he saw? It was the joint where it was me, you,
There's a whole rack
Slick,
of y'all
and
in the picture.
Swift. And like
He was
we
on the
was
edge
sitting
of the
on
ring.
edge of the ring
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
man, the headgear was. He went to nationals. Like, yo, let me get your headgear, dog, cause the dreads.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what, man, it's time for him to go. And then the crazy part was when you was cutting them, I'm growing mine.
You was growing yours. Yeah. It was so funny that we switched up.
And I ain't never had cornrows before. I said, bro, what's this? You said, nah, that's new growth. You good?
You good. I said, don't trip, don't worry about it. I said, that's what you need.
Oh,
It's yours,
God. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Christopher Daly. He said, "I wish you all the best, man." He said, "Cheers from Virgin Norway." He
Wow.
from Norway.
Love.
Ooh.
Tell him
Thank you
that's
for
love,
tapping
man.
into the show, man.
Definitely
Appreciate you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
So outside of boxing, what are some of your hobbies, things you like to do besides traveling with that big ass neck roll?
So you want to be funny? I was about to joke on it. No, listen.
You see how
Me and
subtle he
him go
did
back
it?
and forth.
You
You
see
try
how
to do it so
subtle he
smooth,
did it,
right?
though?
When he started talking about the cornrows, I was going to talk about it because he just had cornrows not too long ago,
Yeah,
right?
ahead, yo.
that shit was in the same
And he
spot
had no hang time.
forever.
I said, yo, if you draw something, you got to look down. I know your neck is going to hurt. I said, I know it's going to hurt. Yo, he always want to joke and he always want to talk, right? So I told him, don't look down. And then he want to be out coaching the kids and everything, right? I said, no, I know them kids talking about you, looking at you like that. Like, how dare you walk up to the kids like that? You're not setting a good example for the people.
Oh, my God.
I said, you're not setting a good example for them. But excuse me, I'm sorry for that. Jay is my boy. That's my dog. So I can't even remember your question. What was your question? I can't even remember what you just said. Yo, I tried to hold it in, but he want to be funny. I tried to be funny, dog.
The neck roll
Oh,
crazy.
the neck roll. That's what he said.
The neck roll.
Listen, I'm always traveling, so my people know me. They know me for a fight, and as soon as the fight over, I gotta catch a flight somewhere. I gotta catch a plane somewhere. I gotta go somewhere and travel. So I've been traveling a lot this year, man. And shout out to my boy Tracy. My boy Tracy always want to travel with me. That's my dog. We knew each other since like 11 or 12 years old. But I can't believe he just tried to go over like that.
I'm still trying to get through it. I'm still trying to get through this. No, because y'all don't understand.
I can't
this.
believe he just did
This
that.
is, y'all don't understand. This is how it be in the dressing room. Let me explain.
Yo.
If you go to Merlin Live,
Yeah.
where they fight at,
Yeah.
they in a dungeon and like it's like
Yeah.
okay, so they have them in like these
Downstairs.
back rooms or they have them down in the cut and
Yeah.
everything. This was going on, and we had a secret elevator entrance and stuff. This is going on while we trying to get him to the ring. We talking shit the whole
No,
time.
seriously, like we was in the back before they started playing my music, and it was like they're still joking.
After the
Yeah,
fight
I was
over,
like, yo.
we get to the back, and this fool right here going, I'm sitting there quiet. I didn't do shit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Mom, I ain't do nothing. Cause you know mama love you. I ain't do nothing. I'm sitting, Dad, you like, I'm sitting there like, all of a sudden this fool coming, oh, that's why he wanted to fight on the inside. You wearing black Air
Yeah,
Forces
yeah,
tonight.
He's like, oh, black Air Force.
they
That's
was on
the type of
demon
time.
time.
On your demon time. I was like, no. So now, I just want you to take your hat off for the people. Let the people see your forehead.
Hey, go ahead.
That's all. I call him Stephen A. Smith. That's all you got. He want to be in front of the mic and he want to talk in front of the mic and everything, right? Go ahead and show the people on the camera right here. Show them. And he's speaking. He's talking.
You gonna sit up there and talk about me? You don't know what that is.
Listen, that's all you call this first take, right? Step and kind of podcast first take, right? Start to Jakim Hutchinson, right? That's all you gotta do for the people, you know what I'm saying? Just show the forehead. That's why he cut the hair for real, because he know he wasn't looking right. You know, he gonna say BINK beat barbershop when he always trying to give us
Hey,
a
baby, clean though. The baby clean though. The fade do be clean though.
My Bebo Vlee, my boy. That's it. Give me shot, my boy. You know, all praise to you, my boy. So,
Oh God.
nah, but you my dog though, for real.
I would, but I'm in between cuts right now, so I can't show the fade.
Oh, so now you in between? No, we ain't letting this
I
shit
am
go
serious,
now.
you know what I'm saying?
No,
I need
fuck
me a
that
haircut
question.
myself.
No, fuck that question. Cause for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he been cooking my ass.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
Cause I was coming in, and you know how I am in training. Remember when I was training, I didn't cut my hair.
Nah, you like
I
that.
would only cut it right when it was over with.
Yeah.
So I was sitting, it was the same thing as I'm back in there helping Richard, what helping Coach Hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm like growing, and he's talking cash. I'm wearing my
Yeah.
golden boy Scully.
It was 90 degrees outside. He had a beanie on.
Piss off.
Yeah,
All right,
you
so
was asking for it. Yo, come on.
I'm like, dog, stop. You ain't, hey. Now I come in here, the first thing you say, oh, look at him, Sugar Ray Robinson come in here with the lineup and shit. Like, man, what the
Clean.
Oh my God.
Hell no, bro. This shit funny as
Yo,
hell.
look at when we first met him, right before I met him the week before I cut all my hair off again. And it was in the point, remember when you introduced us, I had to point it, because y'all don't understand, I said this on the first few episodes. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if I probably would have still met him, but he was the main one. This man right here, don't care what no one else say. Of course, I always get everybody, they kept pushing me for years. He was one of them pushing me for years. Do this, man. You need to do this. I know you ain't able to fight no more. So, you know, you still sparring a little bit, but do this, do this. And the whole time they was pushing me to do it, you remember I kept saying, man, this is the reason why I don't want to do it. I had my reservations or whatever. I get to the fight, he pulled me, hey, this is BINK right here. I'll dap him up. About a week later, me and him talking, he shot me out. He's like, man, the dude with the claw, with Elder Barge looking dude. What the fuck they call me Elder Barge for? And he gonna say, I said, you mad because my hair grow that, if I could cut in his back in 3 months, your shit still sitting right here.
You know the back of his neck, right?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. Them cornrows was a struggle, bro.
No, I told you, bro.
They was pulling the shit out your head, bro.
It's that phase that nobody like. I remember when I started my dreads, it wasn't that long, right? But I had the cornrows, I had the little twist phase before I started my dreads, but it's called the ugly phase. What people now, they get extensions. And I was like, nah, I don't like that. It's not natural to me. So when I cut my hair, like I still got my hair. It's in a bag. I got it up in my closet right now. Shit. I still got my hair. Everybody say, would you ever grow your hair back? I probably would, because I had that phase in my life already. So that's why I just keep my hair short, you know.
Right.
And you could wear a headgear.
Yeah. My headgear was fit all funny. We went to the Nationals and everything fighting. They complained about it because my hair down my shoulders and stuff. So it was just annoying. So yeah, it was just time for it to go, man. But nah, good times.
Man, y'all boys
Great
funny
stuff.
as hell.
Good times. Great stuff.
Good times. I remember your question. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So you said my spare time, like what I'm doing without boxing. So I like to chill and relax though. So if I'm not traveling, like you said, I love to travel, man. Got to see the world. But I like to chill. I live by myself, so that's wonderful. So I'm able to sit back. Like I said, around this time, I watch football. I'm chilling. Basketball about to start up. I watch my basketball. And then I support other people, like whatever they're doing. Like whether you do music or you singing or you coaching, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you like to do. I just like to support other people. So my man Kirk, shout out to my boy Kirk. He was coaching the little kids. He was it was like some part of Maryland. I can't remember the name of it, but it was close to the Pennsylvania. He said, man, we got a game out here. Woo, woo. I said, say no more, I'm there. I went out to the game and supported him. And he was coaching the people. It's like a Friday night, I think it was. But nah, that's just me. I just like to support other people. So I guess that's why people support me, because I'm always supporting them. But that's just me as a person. That's just who I am. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
We got Cleo in the chat with a donation. Thank you, Cleo. We appreciate it. Sure. What are some of the favorite places you travel, and where do you want to go?
Ooh, man. Some of the favorite places I traveled. Jamaica is probably number one.
Okay. You saw the smile, you know why.
Jamaica is probably number one. So if you want to see a smile, then I'll talk about. I can't name that trip, bro.
Hey, I already know what he's talking about too. I already know. I was supposed to go, but I got jammed up.
It was for my birthday this past year.
Lord Jesus.
Oh my goodness. Like,
hey, yo. say that for the private friends chat on Instagram. Talk about
that. Say in the close friends chat. That's it. Only the close friends. That was probably one of my favorite places I ever been. No lie. Oh my goodness, we had so much fun.
Yeah.
And you were supposed to be there. Oh my goodness, man. But Jamaica is probably number one. I'm gonna stay local for this one. Domestic, I would say. Vegas. I like Vegas. Cancun was cool. Cancun was okay. Met some good people over there, but a wild thing about my Cancun trip, the housekeeping, they kept trying to come and clean my room, right? But I was always in my room whenever they tried to come. Was one day I had a day full of excursions. And I don't have any watches on right now. I'm about to go to the gym after this, but I wear watches, I wear like chains, necklaces, and all that stuff, right? Costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Housekeeper came in, they cleaned up my room, boom, they stole my stuff.
No.
I was so mad. I was so mad. So Cancun was like an okay place, but boom, I got them on the bottom of my list because of the situation right there.
Man, that's wild.
But I got a lot of places to travel. I'm thinking about traveling after this fight in October, but I might wait until December because just for Halloween, I might just do like some Halloween stuff here because some people invited me to some parties here. So I might just do that. And then I'll just travel in December, close out the year. But I got a lot of places like Thailand. I want to go to Paris. Man, I want to go to Iceland too. I normally like to go to warm places. I'm born in June. I like the warm weather. Right. So yeah, I might want to try something like that.
Iceland, yeah, it's different out there.
It's pretty different out there.
Norway, where my man Chris is from.
Yeah, Norway. You know, that would be a place for me. Some place over in Europe, some place to travel over there as well. I haven't been over there. But man, I travel so many places. I've been to Bermuda. I broke my ankle in Bermuda.
Oh hell.
Puerto Rico. It's still a part of the U.S. though. Puerto Rico. Haiti. I've been to Haiti. Where else have I been? Man, I traveled so far. DR. That's a great spot right there, man. Seriously. But DR, one thing about DR is so hot. I swear. Like, it's a different type of heat from over here. Like, as soon as you step out the hotel room, like, wherever it is that you go over there, it's like a drop. You start sweating.
Right.
You start sweating. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, I need some water or something like that. Like, instantly, you start sweating over there. I don't know what type of heat it is over there. But, man, like, I want to go to Colombia as well, too. Colombia would be a nice place to visit. That's what I might go with.
Have you seen their currency? Colombia's currency?
I
got it. I still got it. I keep every currency.
Oh, yeah?
Like, yeah, that
That's
currency
smart.
is beautiful.
I should have did that when I transferred from my Frank. I should have did that. Yeah. But I travel a lot of places, so
yeah, you always traveling. I love to see it, man. You living your life still, young, doing your thing.
I'm young, no kids, so why not?
Yeah,
right?
you paying that price.
I'm telling you.
Okay, people don't know, like you, because as soon as you say you doing that, then they want to say, "Oh, does he stay in the gym like that?" I trained with him. Yes, he lifts more than me. Like, but you gotta understand when. See, I'm a little different. Yeah, I don't mind traveling, but me, like he'll tell you, I just want to go right back to the gym.
Yeah.
And to the point where him, Jared, whatever, how many trips did y'all take? Y'all like, you gonna go to Birmingham, Alabama for the fight? No, I want to stay in the gym. Like, but I will still call y'all, make sure y'all good. Like call Jared, like, oh yeah, y'all about be safe, whatever. Yeah. But when you doing all of this work, when you step through those roles, I'm trying to make people understand because I know his fans are not all right, hardcore. Grew up in like how we did in the fight game. Right. So I'm trying to make sure I explain the best I can. But when you step in there, it's like Larry Holmes said, it's just me and you. Yeah. You can't call the cops.
Yeah, for sure.
And still this day, I still get people who ask me, so if somebody gets killed in the ring, do they go to jail?
Oh, wow.
No.
Nah, man. You sign a contract.
No. If you sign, it's like it's called fighters. We call it sanctioned homicide because, and I've heard a cop call it that because if the gloves is right, the wraps is right, the weight is right. And even if the weight's the last thing, because if he's 2 ounces over and he balloons up to 20 pounds and you still fight him, it is what it is at that point. And you're not by yourself, but you're by yourself because you got your team where they're gonna Bulldog or Gibson or like my dad or Nesta or whatever. They're gonna be coming up them steps already. Like I've seen my dad tell Smooth Ref Brent Bovel, hey, if you about to stop it, the first shot he takes goes out because I'm already coming up the steps to throw it. It was up because we had a pro that happened to, and y'all gotta understand when you doing all that work, the running, sitting in the sauna, the recovery, you waking up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky with y'all. Yeah. Y'all ain't pissed blood before.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all ain't sat there and laid in the bed and you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and you don't want to get up because as soon as you turn, it's like, oh,
you hurt. You hurt.
It's like you want to. That's when it really is. Or you going in the fight night, and the old saying goes: if you walking into the fight, if you walking into the ring 100%, you ain't trained hard.
You do something right.
You supposed to be walking in the ring 80 to 95%, 97%, something like that. There's something that's nicking you a little bit, and that's just how it is. So when you do that, and you have somebody like Jay, like, okay, he's gonna go out, he want to go to his friends on gaming and then go travel. That's well deserved because in 2 weeks you're gonna go right because when you turn pro, you're supposed to take like a week off. You're supposed to take 2 weeks off because you supposed, because even if I say this all the time, even if you knock out the guy in the first round, even if you go 6 rounds like the last fight and box clean and barely get touched, you just spent 8 weeks getting banged on with the top dudes in the area going butting heads.
You need like a mental break too.
You need it, like, man. You ain't trying to kill each other. Like, for instance, every time I ever work, I always say this about my teammates. They never, ever tried to hurt me on purpose. Never once. It was always, all right, Junior, you the speed guy, and you got the feet. Like, we want you to help. All right, cool. And when you doing all that work, it's like, okay, now when it's over with, your body, you will run. You ain't trying to hurt each other, but you trying to push each other. Trying to help each other get to, especially when you turn pro. Now you trying to really help your man get to the money.
Yeah,
you ain't trying to beat the money out of him.
Exactly.
He ain't no more good.
Yeah, we ain't paid for that spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's just how we. So you gotta sometimes, man, you gotta take that time off and go travel and stuff like that, because when this game is done and it's saying, all right, I'm done, y'all taking my bow or whatever, it's over.
It's over.
You don't get it back.
Nah.
And you lose a little bit as you go each time.
Seriously, man. Yeah.
People don't understand that jump, man.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. So, you hit it on the nose right there. That's why I take my time out. You got to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, I like you said, I'm in the gym. I'm training hard. Once the fight is over, I got to rest, recover my body. If I get massages, if I go to the chiropractor, shout out to Dr. Ray Solano. Whether I work my massages, shout out my boy Rick. Whether I get in the hot tub, you know what I'm saying? I always let my body rest and recover. And then after that, we right back in the gym training. So it's a lot of hard training. So that's what we do for sure.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Proud of you, brother.
I got a question for you, man. So, who are some of the most influential people in your life right now?
Ooh, right now.
And where you get drawing your inspiration from?
Personally or like professionally?
Professionally.
Okay.
Anything. I know Jay-Z got to be one of them. That guy did. You play that joint every day.
No. If you would call it Jay-Z stan, that probably would be me. Yeah. Jay-Z is my, I tell everybody, so like with music, I say Jay-Z is always my favorite of all time.
Gucci.
I
remember
Gucci.
that.
Oh, my boy Gucci. I always play Gucci. Always play Gucci.
Oh,
So I don't know what happened with Gucci. Whenever, when he got out of jail, it's like he changed.
Yeah.
So I like the
when
pre-Gucci.
you said, it better be the old Gucci.
It better be the old
Gucci. When it came
Gucci.
on, you said,
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it right there.
Old Gucci
The old Gucci cream. I started to walk out to one of my fights in Gucci. I started to, but I was like, I don't know if they're ready for that yet. So I like Gucci. Gucci, that's my dog. But Jay-Z is my GOAT. Jay-Z is my favorite of all time. And then currently my favorite is J. Cole. So I just like the way they bring off the music and then they spit. You know what I'm saying? I like Lil Baby as well too. That's my boy. So I guess inspiration, I like Jay-Z, how he did it. I'm 26 right now. He ain't dropped his first album until he was 26.
Right.
He talk about all the time how he was from the streets, he selling crack and everything. But boom, now look at him now. He's a billionaire, right? So he got them back there. If you want to talk professionally still, let's go to boxing. I like Floyd. Everybody know I like Floyd. I try to emulate his style a little bit. Of course, I don't have his features like his height and his arm length, so I can't fight exactly like that all the time. Unless I got somebody smaller than me, which is very rare. So I like him and how he came from Michigan. He wasn't doing too much there. Boom, then he blew up, went to Olympics. He said he got handed the bronze. He didn't win the bronze. He was handed the bronze. Then he went to the professional range and he did his thing there. And so he just changed the game. So people want to protect their and people want to make sure they get paid and everything. So I like Floyd. But then personally, I call her my mama, Jasmine. She continues to push me. I know when I came to her when I was 16, and just saw her in school, and then she was still working maybe 2 jobs at that one time. But when she took me in, I was a junior in high school. So I finished out high school there. Then I went into college at Morgan State. I graduated from there 4 years in, 2014, 2018. I graduated 4 years out. Okay. So I got a college degree. So she helped me there. Just continue to motivate me. So like I said, boxing is me right now, but boxing is not all of me, Right. I have a lot of good other attributes to me. And so who else is a good intro? My brothers as well too. Jamal, he got a son. My brother Jaleel. My boy Derwin Pritchett. He's a CEO of his company. He has a cannabis company. He just received his license from DC. Okay. So that's pretty good right there. So I mean, they say birds have a feather flock together. I try to surround myself with good people. Chance, he doing a lot of his good things. My boy Juice, very, very smart. Coop, he's a CEO of a golfing startup in DC. I think it's called City Swing. He doing his thing.
Kind of like Top Golf almost.
Kind of like Top Golf.
Okay,
yeah, but
check that out.
It's inside though.
Okay.
It's right in DC. Check him out.
Okay.
My very good man right there, my boy Sheldon. He's doing his thing, teaching. He's giving back to the youth, young kids. He's coaching as well too.
Okay.
Shouts out to his baseball team because he said He said they got cooked last night. But
damn.
Shouts out to his baseball team.
Keep pushing, man.
Keep pushing,
keep
you know.
competing,
And
y'all. Keep competing.
a lot of people don't know. Sheldon helped me out a lot with my fights, whether it's my merchandise, giving it out to people, whether it's with my tickets. Because I tell people, like you said, it's around fight time. I really don't want to talk to a lot of people. I'm cutting weight. I don't have enough energy that I have. I'm worn out, draw down. I hit up Sheldon, like, listen, we got such, man. Can you handle this with me? Can you touch with me? He like, cool, no problem. I got it. And he look out for me. He do it. So Sheldon take care a lot for me. So I really appreciate him. My sisters, my boys, Marcus, he's always there supporting me. Who else? Other inspirations for me. So I did music, I did boxing. Steph Curry, I like my boy Steph.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. That's my favorite player in the NBA right now, Steph Curry. So I like him because a lot of people doubted him. He's a smaller guy like me.
Right.
So a lot of people doubted him. They said, listen, they ain't think that he could do it. He changed the game.
Yeah, and he had the ankle problems and stuff.
The
and
ankle
had to come back.
He had the ankle surgeries, right? And he got rid of those big old ankle braces, right? Nobody thought he could do it, right? He changed the game. Now everybody wants to shoot threes now.
Even centers out there behind the arc.
Joel Embiid, Jokic, the one to play for Denver, right?
Yeah.
Everybody out there shooting threes, but nobody doing that before, right? So just how he changed the game. So I have a lot of inspirations. For the NFL, let's see who I like there. I got a lot of good players I like, but I just go somewhere for the Commanders. I like Terry McLaurin, right? I just bought his jersey, right? I like him because he was like a 3rd round draft pick.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even looking at him.
They was not.
They drafted what's his name? Dwayne Haskins. They drafted him.
R.I.P. Dwayne.
R.I.P. Dwayne, right? And he's from the area as well.
Right.
They drafted him. But they saw Terry McLaurin at the pro day when they was scouting Dwayne Haskins.
And the offensive coordinator was trying to tell the head coach. He said, man, I ain't asked you to go talk to him.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
So there's a lot that's going on, right? And he made the most out of his opportunity. They drafted him 3rd round. They didn't even think that and now look, he's one of the highest paid receivers that's in the league right now. He just got this new contract, right? So I just like him, how he stayed humble and boom, how he blew up to the position that he's at now. And he's able to stay hungry and able to keep working. So I think those are my biggest inspirations right now. My pastor, I put him on as well too because he talked to me a lot. My boy James Plummer, he always keeps me grounded. We always talk spiritually in the word and stuff like that. They're able to keep me grounded and stuff. So I think those are my biggest inspirations right now. Besides Jesus. So
of course, man, that's what's up. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Before we wrap up here today, because I know you gotta get back to training. I got a football game I gotta get back to with all the kids and everything.
Sure.
But anything else you would like to say? Promote yourself, promote the fight on the 15th.
So October 15th, we back at Maryland Lab Casino. I want to see all the Team 2 Shop out there, all the Camp 2 Shop out there. We got new merchandise out. So we're going to do a little breast cancer, a little Halloween. We got orange and pink going on.
Okay.
So it's a nice, I'm excited for y'all to see my outfit for this one. We already got the shirts. We still got some tickets available. DM me on 2 Sharp, the number 2 Sharp, SHARP_JJAY. Or you can hit up my boy Sheldon, but it's probably easier to go through me and I'll just point you in his direction. So I want to see everybody out at the fight. We got a belt on the line. It's another 6-round fight. Get with me now on my journey to get to the top. I'm going to stay humble. I'm going to stay, show humility and everything. And I just love everybody that come out. I'm not going to get too big-headed, I just appreciate everybody. And I want to thank you, my boy Jay. We appreciate my boy Junior. You know what I'm saying? Slip and Counter Podcast. I want to thank you guys for bringing me on. Be able to give me some publicity before my fight, it's all love for sure.
Man, it's long overdue. You know how far back we go, of course. But for people, know I've watched this guy evolve, watched him do his thing. Class act, somebody you want to be proud of, how he conduct himself in and out the square. So and enjoy his boxing ability. He's not in there. He's always trying to make sure he interact with the crowd, make sure that y'all enjoy it, because he really want to make sure that, okay, y'all coming to see little old me. I want to make sure y'all feel like, man, that's my guy. So, some champions, they don't always feel that way. So, and watch after he wins, he's going to probably do this. Because I already done peeped it. But, yes, man, I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you,
bro.
I appreciate it. Love you too, Brody.
For sure.
Appreciate you.
Before we let you go, we got a gift for you. We're going to give you a pair of HYBERNATION 5 headphones from Kenichi.
Wow, my boy. Thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Get ready to hear the bass, bro.
Trust
me.
Hey, Gucci gonna slap in those.
Dog.
Hey, I need it when I'm on my run.
All I'm going to say is a switch right back here.
Okay.
You're going to push it, and then that's when you're going to, especially when you in the back, when you get your hands right stuff. If you want to block out, It's
baseball.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm not hyping it. It's a
Okay.
video where he did it, and I'm like, wait, the heck?
Right.
And I took it off. Like, hold up, am I tripping? Yeah, man, you gonna enjoy it.
Love, I appreciate that, Brody.
Indeed, man. We got one more, not question, but a comment in the chat. Christopher Daly again. He said, "I subscribe to Slip and Counter, a total different take from the other boxing channels I view intermittently." So, man, I appreciate the love.
Yeah, because we actually been in the square.
Right. I ain't never been in the
He
square,
been in
but
the
I
square,
appreciate boxing.
And he appreciates what we do. And he played football at a high
He's an
level, so he
athlete, so-
knows what it means.
I appreciate it. So, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap this show up, man. I'm your host, BINK. This is Don, the golden boy with the fresh cut, and my man,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the new Too Sharp.
Oh,
Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, Slip and Counter. Check us out on Twitter and TikTok, and we'll be back with you guys next week. Thank you.
Love.
I was born for this. Always know I was the one, didn't know when my time was gonna come. I was born for this. Gotta be the voice for the youth, won't stop.
And I can keep this, I can keep the bass on, right? And I can stay on even when I'm on the game. Oh, that.
Are you still using these to play games? Or these to listen to music? What if I told you these are gaming headphones? And you can use these to listen to music. So get rid of these two. And get the new HYBERNATION 5s by Kenichi. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter. Color RGB and extreme bass mode.
The HYBERNATION 5s are just to you.
I was born for this. Always knew I was the one, didn't know when my time was gonna come. Born for this. Gotta be the voice for the youth, won't stop.
And I can keep this, I can keep the bass on, right? And I can stay on even when I'm on the game. Oh, that.
Still using these to play games? Or these to listen to music? What if I told you these are gaming headphones? And you can use these to listen to music. So get rid of these two. And get the new HYBERNATION 5s by Kenichi. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter. Color RGB and extreme bass mode.